Ooh, ooh. Oh, oh, sorry about that. Good morning. Ooh, oop. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Good morning. Wake up. It's time to get up. It's time to wake up. And it's time. Hey, Scott. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, my friend? How you doing, my friend? Oh, it's warm today. Oh, it's warm. Oh, hear myself. Okay. Good morning. 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 It's time to wake up. Actually, I guess people outside of this time zone are pretty much already woken up. But it's good to see you. Welcome to Wake and Bake with Lolo. I'm Lolo. Nice to see you. It's Tuesday. Ah, it's our favorite day. Sure, why not? I don't know. I kind of like Fridays. I'm not gonna lie. I still like Fridays a lot. I think. I don't mind Sundays as much anymore. I used to. I mean, but I don't have to go to a actual job anymore. So that's probably why. That's probably why. Anyways, good morning, my friends. How are you? Uh, Lots of stuff happening this morning. Well, and by a lot, I mean, the usual amount, not really. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I was gonna launch into it, and then I'm like, wait, just wait. You don't have to. There's no reason to rush. It's morning, all waking up. Some of us more than others. Good morning, butterflies. And we can just take our time. I don't have to rush. But we do have a lot. We do a lot of things, a lot of little stories that I've been pulling the last couple days. So, and quite a few clips. God, I have a few clips for this morning. I pulled a bunch of clips last night. So, there is one thing that's happening at 7. So, in a half an hour. What was that? What was that? But there was, shoot, man. Put it on the wake and bake? I don't even know. Did I put it on the wake and bake, brother? Oh, that's not it. Wait. Na 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 na. Ooh. There's so much going on. Hi, Karen. How are ya? Are ya? I know it is a lot. It's a lot. Let's see. I have. Okay. I was wrong. Maybe not. I thought there was something coming up at 7. Hi, Neil. Good morning. Bonjour, mes amis. Let me just see if I can find this. I'm so mad at myself because I had something teed up and then, but it's starting at 7, so it's not like I have to find it. Uh, oh, I know what it was. It's the UN. Hold on. That's what it is. So the UN Security Council is having a special session about the hostages, I imagine, on other things, and I think we had some disturbing news. Oh wait, what's going on? Good day. It's okay for me, Scott. Is your audio a bit low? It might be. I hope not. Hi, Lee. Hi, Lee. Hi, Lee. Isn't my audio low? My audio might be low. I can turn it up a little bit. And let me turn it up a little bit. There. I might have turned it up a little bit if that helps. Let me know. Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing, testing, 1, 2. Hey, loungers. Hi, Lee. uh, is fall coming? Anybody see signs of fall yet? Can you tell I'm excited for fall? Maybe you can't. But I am excited for fall. I love fall. I really do. Morning. Good morning, Jane. How are ya? Girl, you didn't miss a thing. I don't want to miss a thing. Every time I close my eyes. Wait, this is my lucky day. Couldn't find my wallet anywhere in my flat or in my car. Maybe I lost it at the supermarket. Turns out someone found it and turned it in. Oh my God, I love that. Jane's like, I'm anti-fall. Dun, dun, dun. Actually, I like the change of any season. I'm okay with the change of any season. Everything, that always feels exciting. It really doesn't matter what season it is. Oddly enough. Oddly enough. Yeah, that's great, Neil. What a great way to start out a Tuesday. I love that. That's good news. I really like that. Oh, good. I'm glad the sound's a little better. Okay. Yeah, I guess he did leave it at the grocery store. The supermarket. Wait, what's that Clash song about supermarket? I'm I'm going to the supermarket where I can shop happily. Da 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 da. I'm on. Wait. Oh man, what is that fucking Clash? Now it's gonna drive me crazy. I'm sorry. I gotta just find this Clash song. Clash supermarket. I think that's one of my favorite Clash songs, actually. I found love in the supermarket. Lost in the supermarket. Damn it! I knew it wasn't love. God, that's such a good album. London Calling is one of the best albums of all time. Prove me wrong. Let me see if I can play it from here and have it. Ah, no, I don't want to search. What are you doing? I just want to, but no, God, I don't want. I searched an image. That's so weird. Here we go. Yeah. Oh my God, I love this song so much. I gotta listen to this album. Neil. We're gonna get in trouble for this, but I don't care.
I'm all lost in the supermarket. I can no longer shop happily. I came in here for a special offer, guaranteed personality. I wasn't born so much as I fell out. Nobody seemed to notice me. We had a hedge back home in a suburb, over which I never could see.
Oh, Public Image Limited? Oh my God. I never saw Public Image Limited. I saw The Clash too, Karen. Oh, you said Big Audio Dynamite was great too. I saw them with Pill and Blind Melon. Oh, how fun. Oh my God. I saw The Clash in 1982. No, 83, I think. I don't know. It was one of those. Yeah, 82 or 83. Well, hello, 5/5. I saw The Clash in 80. It must have been 83. Public Image Limited was the band that Johnny Rotten formed after he disbanded the Sex Pistols. That's what Pill is. Public Image Limited. Actually, and I have to tell you, the Pill album is actually a little bit of a guilty pleasure, even though Johnny Rotten is an asshole. I think he's still an asshole, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't really paid attention. Yeah, hit the like. But I love the Clash. I saw the Clash in 1983 in Santa Cruz, and they and the fucking Stray Cats opened for them. Oh my God, that was so good. That was such a great concert. Oh, that was a pretty small venue. It wasn't a very big one. Pill was John Lydon's. Yeah, Johnny Rotten. Yeah, he's disgusting MAGA. That's why I don't really. But the album Public Image Limited put out, the first one, I guess. I don't know if they put out other ones. I suppose they did, but I didn't really pay attention. It was really good. It was really good. Actually, I'm gonna find a little bit for you because if you haven't, I really like this album. Unfortunately, let's. I guess they probably do have a lot of different songs, and I just don't even know. Public Image. Oh, it looks like they have a far more songs than I thought they did. Let me see. What is the one I like? Oh, I don't know. Do I want that one? This one's kind of rough for the morning, but that's okay. You know, we can take it. Here we go.
This is not a This is not a
Love song. This is not a love song.
This is not a love song. It's not a love song.
Good horns. Okay, I'm gonna stop before I get taken down. But yeah, I do. I love their. I mean, I actually, man, I might not have fucking listened to their second album, but maybe I will. Oh, Rise is a good Pill song. Ah, okay, I'm gonna have to listen to that because I like that. What was that awful music? Chud's like Vapor. I don't know. What's that? Oh my god, what is that? I thought they liked Carrie Underwood. I thought they were all Carrie Underwood fans. What? That's the mashup we need. Carrie Underwood and Johnny Rotten. The mashup you didn't know you needed. You thought you learned it here. Oh shit. Sorry. Vaporwave? Isn't that, I feel like that's like 90s, right? I think Oomph might have brought that up. I don't know. He knows a lot about that. So does Max. But I don't know. I don't know if that was true or not. But anyway, that's your music corner for this morning. Oh, I know. I was a punk back in the 80s. Come on. I love punks. We weren't MAGA then. That's for sure. We were anti-MAGA. We were anti any kind of weird. Oh, Vapor was 80s synth. Oh, really? They like that? I don't think they like that. Really? Do they? What are we talking 80s synth? Is that like, are you talking about like, what is that? What's that song? Or what's that band that, Human Connection? What the fuck is that song? Or that band? Oh my god, I can't even remember any of the 80s bands. There must be too many drugs. Or not enough drugs. That might be too. I might not have had enough drugs. Like New Order? I don't know. If you don't leave, don't look back. Don't you? Oh, okay, so that's the one I'm thinking of. Human League. God damn it, I knew it. Human League. That's the name of the band. Thank you, thank you. Don't you want me, baby? I never really loved those songs when I was in that. You love New Order? What the fuck is New Order? What is New Order? But yeah, I Human League and then Thompson Twins. Remember them? Do you guys remember the Thompson Twins? That was crazy. I kind of dug Bananarama for a minute just because it was fun. I just thought it was silly fun. Bizarre Love Triangle. Oh my gosh. The Smiths, yeah. But see, that was to me, OMD and the Smiths were a little fancier than I was. I was a pretty shallow teenager. No, I wasn't shallow. That's not true. But I didn't have I don't have a deep musical knowledge. I always say my musical knowledge kind of skims the surface of a lot of different genres, and I don't have a deep dive on any one genre, I don't think. And I admire people that do. So I saw Thompson Twins with some band called the Bongos. I remember the Bongos. Oh my god. Ooh, you know who my ex-husband and I used to go see a lot cuz he really liked him was oh shit. Marshall, there was two guys. Marshall, what the fuck was his name? Someday, some way, yeah. Someday, some way. Oh, someday, some way. Da 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 da. That we saw that guy a lot. Marshall, whatever his name is. And then we also saw Joe, the stepping out guy. Do 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 do. Ooh, babe, step. Joe Jackson. We saw him a lot. No, not Marshall Tucker Band. It was Marshall. It was his name, Marshall something. Ooh. Oh my God. I lived in the UK, Lee says, during the Manchester craze, and my beau was from Manchester. Oh my God. Cute. Dumped him, but kept the music. Hell yeah. That's so adorable. Oh my God. The Smiths guy is another one who went reactionary. Yeah. I also used to listen to X a lot, but then Exene Cervenka also went nuts. There's a lot of people that just go nuts. I know that one. What was the Australian band? Can you dip your foot in the water, but you just can't swim? Oh, you can dip your foot in the water, but you just can't swim. Oh shit, I don't know. That name sounds or that line sounds familiar. Morrissey, also don't know them. Isn't that terrible? There's some bands that I really just have zero knowledge of their catalog. I can't sing a fucking line, and that's kind of frustrating. Actually. D. Snyder has a good concert, much fun. I actually told D. Snyder I would be a volunteer backup singer for him. And he liked it. He liked my tweet response. Now, did he call me and ask me to come and, you know, be a volunteer backup singer? No. No, he didn't. No. Morrissey was the Smith singer who went reactionary. Oh, right. Then he was a solo act, right? I still don't know any of their songs. It's terrible. Crowded House, that was a good band too. Oh, that was a good band too. Oh. Midnight Oil, that was kind of a silly, fun music. That was kind of silly and fun. I would imagine. I love Tears for Fears. Oh my God, I love that. Oh, that to me equates with 80s San Francisco when I lived in San Francisco and late 80s. And I used to hang out with a friend of mine. I have to find that guy. I used to hang out with this guy who was really funny. We weren't dating. He was gay, but we were besties, and I need to look him up. And we would just listen to fucking Tears for Fears all the time and drink margaritas. UB40, I love them. I love them. I like Madness. I thought they were fun. That was a fun band. Special Beat, yep. They are very fun. I loved Madness. English Beat, sorry. English Beat. Yeah, I do love ska music. Someone recently posted Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world in Latin. Oh my God, how fun. I don't even know how you would say that. I don't know Latin. But yeah, good. Oh man, cool music. We also, just so you know, we have to choose a documentary for tonight. What am I going to do tonight? I have to look at the documentaries. Oh, you posted on YouTube? Wait, posted on YouTube. Oh, the video. Okay. I'm going to look for that. Wait, Tears for Fears. Hold on. Everybody wants to um mm, 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 world in Latin. It's where is it in Latin? wait, I have something for that.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Okay, there we go. Oh my god, in classical Latin. I'm so sorry. This is making me laugh. I'll link this in the description of the video. We're gonna get so shut down. I just want to hear him sing a little bit. Come on. Oh my god, they have the lyrics too. Okay, I better shut that one off too. Oh my god, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh, the 80s. 80s were really, I mean, actually, the music is good all the time. I'll be honest with you. I always think music is good. There's not a lot of music I can't stand, actually. There probably is, but I don't know what it is. Oh, stop. I don't know what it is. All right, let me go ahead and I'm going to add this one because I want people to listen. I don't want you to have to go search it out in the thing. Hold on. Ah. Ooh. Da 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 da. Uh-oh. Oh no. There's a interview on CNBC with Dump. I might. Hmm. Meh, meh. Hold on, let me find myself. But yeah, we're gonna actually go to the UN in a few minutes. But hold on, let me put this in the chat. This in the chat. Stop, don't sing. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to rule the world. Tears for Fears in Latin. I'll just put that. It's I gotta do some singing. I really am missing singing right now. Okay, there's the Tears for Fears in Latin link. Please change Dumpy's voice. I wish I could. I wish I could. Me and my old high school classmates who took Latin thought that was a scream. Hey, we taught Latin. The Latin was the foreign language in my high school. Yeah, in the high school that I was running in Brooklyn, we taught Latin as the foreign language. And at first, when I got there, I was like, why aren't we teaching Spanish as the foreign language? And actually, it turns out I was a convert by the end of that time, my time at the high school, because it actually, and there's research behind it, that kids who study Latin actually do better on standardized tests and, just like knowledge recovery and things like that, and the ability to figure out roots of words and shit like that. So I actually became a convert thinking that taking Latin is really great. Who went on to visit Latin America. Well, you know what? We took the kids to Italy. We took a group of kids to Italy. The Italian teacher, or the Latin teacher who is Italian, would be one of the chaperones. I was the chaperone one year, and then the other Latin teacher was the chaperone the next year. But we would take, yeah, they all speak Latin. No, no, but oh my god, that was the most amazing trip. The Italian or the Latin teacher who was Italian did such a good job with the kids and introducing them. These are some of these kids that were at our high school had never been to Manhattan. Okay? They grew up in Brooklyn, and in high school they still hadn't there are some, quite a few, who had yet to go to actual Manhattan. So imagine those kids going to Italy, Rome. We went to Rome, we went to Naples, we went to Pompeii, and then we spent most of the time in Rome. But yeah, little Latin in Manhattan. Yeah. Anyway, it was such a great experience watching their eyes are just like, rah. It was so great. It was so great. And they speak Latin and American. But they had fun like reading the stuff on, you know what I mean? Like it was good. It was a great program. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah. Oh, you can't you can't listen to him. I understand. When Mary Trump, he has the baby voice. Oh my god, that's funny. I haven't seen that. I don't have the voice changer turned on. Otherwise I would. I kind of wish I'd taken all 4 years of Latin. I mean, I think it really I became a convert. I was like, this is a great idea because kids are really like engaged. They loved it. Oh my god. We would have not a bacchanal like, you know, an orgy or anything, but we would have like a celebration in the spring where the kids would take the cafeteria and create like the River Hades and then have different stations where they would be different characters in, you know, ancient history or something. And so the history in the Latin department, the social studies in the Latin department, I guess you could say, uh, worked on like activities. Oh my God, the kids had the best time. It was great. It was great. It was really sweet. Anyway, I don't know. Good times, good memories. I think it's a good thing. I think it's wonderful for kids to travel too. I think that's a really important thing. I think it really opens up their horizons into what is out of the world, you know. Yeah, it was so yeah, class orgy. No, it was not a class orgy. I mean, those were the dances. No, I'm just kidding. If you haven't been to a high school dance recently, do not go. Okay? That's what I'm going to tell you. Cuz even me who is like, you know, don't be such a stick in the mud. Even I was like, okay, I don't know what's happening over there, but that's not dancing. I became that woman immediately. So I did learn to relax and just like, but it was a shock to my system. I'm like, we didn't dance like that in high school. So I don't. If you have a say, if you have a, if you have a dirty dancing is indeed. If you have a soft stomach, don't necessarily just go to a high school dance because I don't know if you'll understand what's actually happening. It took me a minute. I was like, okay, if you're telling me that there's not an actual exchange of bodily fluids happening there, okay, I'll believe you. But I don't know. Oh my god. Good times, good times, good times. um, yeah, yeah. So we're gonna go to this. Oh, it's gonna start soon. Um, but I do have a bunch of things, so we might. I don't know if we'll stay with the UN Security Council session the entire time, but I do have quite a few clips and things that I want to read to you. So we'll see what happens. Bumping up uglies on the dance floor. Yep, it's just it's a lot like I don't know how to describe it because I haven't been to many places like that. It's it's kind of like I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess it was like bumping uglies. I don't know. There's a lot of grinding. There's a lot of grinding. It was just like, oh my god, yeah, cute. It was cute. They're adorable. They didn't take it half as seriously as I did, and that's when I learned to just be like, whatever. It was like it was a little bit like a nature documentary, but you're like, stop doing that. But yeah, no, I did. I learned to relax and just like, you know, just don't be such a fucking don't be such a fucking grown up. And it got better from there. But oh, they were the best. I love those kids. Oh my god, those kids were just every time I worked with kids over the course of my years in nonprofit. I love kids. I think teenagers are awesome. I think middle schoolers are awesome. You know, like all the groups that people are like, I would never work in a middle school. I would never work in high school. I fucking loved it. I loved it. It was a great experience, and I'm so glad that I did it. So I highly recommend working with teenagers because I think teenagers are awesome. But I understand people are like, but I find them to be awesome. very caring and sweet and very aware of what's happening in the world, in terms of the injustice and stuff. So I always admired them. A nature documentary. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. It was fun though. Let's see. So, we'll see if they show up. And then I'll just give you a preview. Well, actually, let me go. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Mm. Here's a preview of what we've got for some stuff today. This is a what was that? This is some tariff stuff. We've got some tariff stuff. This is Putin doubts potency of Trump's ultimatum. So little Reuters. I'm gonna go through a Reuters update. Because I just signed up for a subscription to Reuters. Let's see, what do I got here? Oh, tariffs. That was about that. This is about. Oh, this is the individual. This is a follow up to what we talked about last week about the federal government requesting voting data from different states. So that's a little bit of a follow up onto that. I don't know what that is. God knows. More tariffs. Jim's. I pulled up Jim's Substack to see what he might have interesting. This one, this is about different stories of ICE and immigration from ProPublica. I thought there'd be some good reporting on that. We got the FDA. Fucking. Here we go. This is from a little bit ago, but this is. Oh my god! Look at that. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I can totally do that. I didn't know Brian Cunningham. I didn't even know. I don't know who Brian Cunningham is. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Got some DOJ. This is the other follow up. Let me put that over there. No, 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 no. Some stuff from our friend Lee. Darren Indike. Oh, this is the Atlantic's Shane Harris. Oh yeah, I wanted to I think I pulled this up to read it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Maybe that wasn't it. Oh, this was just an update. The Atlantic Shane Harris reporting that Darren Indike, Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, is now working for Tim Parlator, Pete Hegseth's attorney. Ooh. Ooh. And some more updates on the mega bill. Little Pete Hegseth update from the Atlantic that we the White House is praising. Oh, this one yeah. Oh boy. This was I don't think I don't have access to the Wall Street Journal articles, but I thought this headline was interesting. White House preps order to punish banks that discriminate against conservatives. Oh, no. That's necessary. Let's see. That's our thing. We're waiting for them. And there's the Latin. There's the Latin version of but wait, let me recap the space last night. There was let's see. We had uh it was a good space. It was a good space. Your face will freeze like that. Wait, what happened? So at Pizza Hut after football games, we all bought beer because they thought we were in college when drinking age was 19. Oh my gosh, all of our high school clubs used to use the Latin initials and then put them on college type frat jerseys. Like in my science club, we had Chi Beta Phi for chem biology and physics. That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. These people are the biggest bunch of whiners. Yes, Grace Lisa, they are absolutely the biggest bunch of fucking whiners. And yes, Brainworm Bobby, he just loves his ice cream. It's got to freeze that. That's right, butterflies. Fuck ICE and fuck Donald Trump and fuck Peter Thiel and fuck all of them. I have no idea about the Brian Cunningham slash dig on Dave Troy. I'll be honest with you. I don't pay enough attention to spaces on Twitter anymore. And people do, and I think it's I actually enjoy hearing the stories from them. So I'm glad like Jay Rance usually kind of listens into some stuff. Are there details on the reactor? Wait, what do you mean? Duffy to order the nuclear reactor to put on the moon? Let me see if I've got anything on that. Hold on. Walking on the moon. We should put Sean Duffy walking on the moon. Duffy and moon. Those are my search terms. Duffy moon. Duffy wants to put a reactor on the moon. All right, let's see. Let's see what he has to say about it. What do you have to say for yourself, sir? Politico. Duffy to announce nuclear reactor on the moon. The first major agency effort by the interim NASA administrator. Oh my God. He's going to crash rockets now. God damn it. Who is also the transportation secretary and a former Fox News host and was on The Real World. And that's how he came to fame. He's an idiot. I thought it was because Elmo and him got in a fight. Remember that? Elmo and him got in a fight. And I thought it was like Elmo said, "Yeah, I'll send you to the moon." Come on. Here we go. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy will announce expedited plans this week to build a nuclear reactor on the moon. What could go wrong? People that fall upwards amaze me. I know. Oh my God. Okay, the first major action by the former Fox News host as the interim NASA administrator. NASA has discussed building a reactor on the lunar surface, but this would set a more definitive timeline, according to documents obtained by Politico, and come just as the agency faces a massive budget cut. Massive. The move also underscores how Duffy, who faced pushback from lawmakers about handling two jobs, wants to play a role in NASA policymaking, which there's a lot to be concerned about. The other piece of this is that it doesn't matter if the agency has a yeah, bangs. Ooh, that's right. I'm gonna send you to the moon, Alice. Yeah, but the budget might have been cut for NASA, but this is around privatizing space. Okay, so if you I think it's dumb for Politico to be like, oh, they have a shrinking budget. No, they have all the billionaires, trillionaires who want to fucking privatize space. Give me a break and stop lying to us, right? What do you really think? Oh God. Okay. What do you think? What do you think about is happening to MTG? Oh my God. Well, so I don't know I don't even know what the headline was about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Is she just upset about Israel? I did hear a little bit of that this morning, but I didn't get all the details. Is that what she's complaining about? Is support for Israel? Fall up, colonize Mars. Yeah. Fail up, I mean. I sometimes wonder if I'm the oldest person here. No, Neil, I am. We're all the oldest people here. That'll probably do it. I'm sure no gravity doesn't have an effect on a reactor. Or what if the rocket crashes with a reactor on it? I mean, what if the moon goes out of orbit? Doesn't that handle a lot of our tides and shit? Like, I think the moon's actually really important, right? 1965. I'm 1964. I'm the baby. Hi, gal. Yeah, gravity, right? So that's a problem, right? Like, that's a problem. That's a problem. Oh, okay. We're all a bunch of oldies. That's fine. I love it. There are restrictions on nukes in space. In Area 51, they had a section that developed and tested nuclear rocket engines, and they had to have it removed when the international law took effect. Oh, stop giving your birth years. Okay, it's fine. Actually, you can give your birth years. Wow, we are all a bunch of oldies. I love that. I love that. Um, I feel at home now. Um, but the thing about it is this is all about. But whose mom has the most beautiful social security number? Yeah, exactly. She sounds nervous to me and distancing herself. I think she said she was going to leave the MAGA party over their support for Israel. Is that what it was? The moon has no influence on laundry detergent. No, he didn't say that. Did he say that? Neil, did he say that? That's right. We are very wise. We are very wise people. That's right. Um that's interesting. I want to know what's going on with MTG. Is she going to leave? Is she combusting? I just think she hasn't had enough attention lately, and she's probably like, "Why aren't you paying attention to me? I'm going to say something really terrible, like I got to leave the I got to leave the party." Where's she going to go? Oh my god, I can't spell. Green. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, she made a genocide comment? Marjorie Taylor Greene presses Trump to pardon George Santos. That's interesting. Let's see. Marjorie Taylor Greene has an original thought for once in her life. Marjorie Taylor Greene is increasingly expressing views opposite to those of Donald Trump. The New Republic has the worst, like, crowded. So much for my. Here we go. MAGA isn't MAGA enough anymore for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Ew, get out. Everybody get out of here. Wait, I just want to check on the what's going on? What's going on? Why are you doing that? Okay. MAGA isn't MAGA enough for good old MTG Three Toes, who seems as surprised as we do at her break with the party that gave her a pulpit. George says prison is really hard. Oh, well, how do we know that he's saying that? Because isn't he in prison and he shouldn't be saying anything? I don't know. I feel like I don't hear from a lot of people in prison that I'd rather hear from other than George Santos. I don't know if the Republican Party is leaving me or if I'm kind of not relating to the Republican Party as much as I think she just got bored. I think it's not fun anymore. I think her usefulness is over and it's not fun anymore. And she gets made fun of and Jasmine Crockett owns her ass every time they have a fucking committee meeting. I think it's not fun. And I think a lot of these people, just like the chuds that we know, would only do this kind of stuff if they found it to be fun. That's what I think. Neil, did you ever watch a show on MTV called Dead or Canadian? She wants more racism, more suffering. Exactly. Let's see if there was anything. What was the? I think there's other women in our party that are really sick and tired of the way men treat Republican women. What? Green specifically mentioned Elise Stefanik, whose nomination for UN thinks was unjustly rescinded. Well, they can't lose the seat, bitch. Don't you know how that works? How does he get awarded after Signalgate? Oh my God. The post went immediately to. She's just a bitter Betty. Oh my goodness. Uh, 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 uh. She wants to eliminate funding for the Ukraine. Well, okay. Basically, we did eliminate funding for the Ukraine. Yeah, she's an insurgent. Yeah, exactly. And I think her usefulness is done. Um, Here we go. MTG calls out Israel's genocide in Gaza while torching GOP colleague. What? Oh my God. Atlantic or New Republic, whatever. On X on Monday evening, Marjorie Taylor Greene castigated fellow MAGA Republican Representative Randy Fine for denying the starvation crisis in Gaza. She also notably joined the small cohort of members of Congress to describe Israel's actions in Gaza as genocide. What? She did? Oh, I see. Until then, oh, Randy finds a real piece of work. Green's post came in reaction to a New Republic story on AIPAC hiding its endorsement of fine, following his controversial comments last week in which he dismissed a report about the starvation of Palestinians in Gaza, including children, as Muslim terror propaganda. Uh, Release the hostages, he wrote. Until then, starve away. Oh, wow. What a guy. Green questioned Fine's commitment to his constituents in Florida's 6th congressional district, citing his alleged decision to move with his wife to Washington, D.C., rather than, per Green's advice, to live in the district he will represent. Well, look at her becoming all kinds of. Oh, yeah, no, I understand. She doesn't really want to help anybody. I get that. I get that. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Well, let them fight. That's what I say. Let them fight. Who cares? Jamie Raskin and Lauren Boebert have developed a relationship. No, Jim, stop it. That's not true. We used to have a show called Talking to Americans. It was funny, but had to go off the air, causing an international incident. Oh, now we all want to be Canadian. God damn it. We should have been nicer. That's what it all comes down to, is we should have been nicer. All the rest, come around to daddy. Gates Vance, that's her crew. Ah, I see. Not all of them. Gal says she's into the gate. Oh, okay. So this is interesting. One of the things we did talk about last night in the space uh, was the kind of the current malaise among the administration in terms of Dump being uh, probably, he's not really escaping the damage of the Epstein story. It's just not really escaping him. And it will kind of, will it either will happen or it won't, but uh there's a lot of confirmation of the fact that, we know that Vance is definitely more part of the donor class, right? Through his connections to Peter Thiel, We've been over this ad nauseum. And this is a way to move Trump, because Trump was very useful for a certain amount of things, but at some point, people kind of, you know, uh, lose their usefulness and become more of a liability. And there's conversation that he's becoming a liability to, at that point, for both the kind of technocrat donor class, which really has put up Vance as their guy, right? And, kind of his MAGA base, where there is starting to be a little bit of a split in terms of this Epstein thing. Because, again, that was hard baked into the propaganda that got people to vote for him, and kind of, like, he's going to save children, the whole Q thing, blah, 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 blah. So it's very interesting now to see him kind of up against the wall, and what might happen next in terms of, is he moved out of the way? I mean, how much of this sticks to him? Yeah. The other thing that Gal was talking about last night was that there is consideration, I believe, I'd have to check on the story, but there's consideration that they unseal the documents in Joel Greenberg's case. And if you remember, Joel Greenberg was the tax collector in Florida who is besties with Matt Gaetz, also good friends with Roger Stone, kind of a real deep Florida guy, if you will. And he is right now in prison in Miami for creating fake IDs and, am I kind of thing? He's like in jail for all kinds of fraud and creating fake IDs. And then he was involved with he was involved with Matt Gaetz and Matt Gaetz's exposure to child rape and his. Yes, it was recorded. It's on my. If you go to my ex account on Twitter or whatever, there's a recording there right at the top. And so it was a very good space. I really I did enjoy it quite a bit. And so the bottom line is that this is a really tough time for Dump because it's not going well. It's not going well. And so with this release of information, oomph, that's great. If you would help read the taxman, the release of documents related to what's his name, Joel Greenberg. If those documents are released, it's going to be really interesting to see. And for Gal, who kind of looked at that network in Florida very closely over many years and paid a price for it in terms of getting harassed by Chuck Johnson on behalf of Matt Gaetz. If you don't know that story, I'm sure most of you do. That there is a lot of really deep corruption that comes through. Hi, Paulina. That comes through the office of Joel Greenberg. He was really at the center of a lot of crap that happens in Florida. And Florida, in the way that I've seen Gal's work evolve over the years, is incredibly dirty. It's so corrupt. Like, it's amazing to me, the cronyism and the cheating and we had the Gillum running for governor being set up. The same characters are involved in all of those Florida politics. So I think I can't wait. I really do hope they release unseal all of the documents because apparently, Gal explained this a little bit better. I guess there's no additional charges coming from the case. And so there's a judge in Florida who's saying, well, if there's nothing else with this case, there's no reason not to keep it sealed. So I don't know. That's kind of hopeful. Let me see what this is. What is this? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Ah. Okay. Sometimes my thing doesn't work. Oh, come on. Why? Oh, I just hate this. This website has like fucked me up, apparently. Hold on, let me see. God damn it. I get that too. I do. I get it half the time with archive too. I think I must have fucked up at one point. Do 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 do. The hell is that? All right, let me see. Do 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 do. No, no. Mm. Wham, wham, wham. You know what? Sometimes life just doesn't want to help me. Why won't it just let me use your link? I don't understand that. Like, fucking link, bitch. All right, maybe if I have it open. Do 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 do. Oh, your settings. Oh, are you sure about that? Okay, sorry about that. Hold on, we're gonna get it. Hold on, hold on. Don't leave. If you leave me now, I'll never be able to read this story to you. Fuck. Fuck. I wonder if I do this. Hold on. Oops. It's technical difficulty day. Technical difficulty day. Technical difficulty day. I wonder if I copy that part and I go to that part. I feel like I screwed up once by hitting NGINX and then all of a sudden it always goes there. This is dumb. That's not going to happen. That's dumb. You're so dumb. I'm so dumb. Oh, well, I'm dumb. Yeah, I'm sure I want to leave YouTube. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm so sick of fucking paywalls. I'm sorry. God damn it. Oh, thanks, gal. Fucked up. I have to get subscriptions. I'm sorry, you guys. I gotta fucking get subscriptions. I can't be like, I can't be like, a purist on this. I have to get the subscriptions from the places that do the goddamn reporting. That's ridiculous. A look inside Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan lair. Y'all see the proposal for 15K bond? Yes, I did see that, Tom. Good morning. Good morning. And Mercury's direct just now. Is that? I don't know. Fuck it. Fuck everything. Okay, let's see. You'd think after all this time they did figure out how to pay per story. Yeah, exactly. Or just like fucking, I don't know. Like I don't even care. Just make it more accessible, please. I understand. Everybody's got to eat. I get it. I do. But my God, let's fucking figure this out. Uh-oh. Somebody's having a little bit of a hairball this morning. We're on Mercury retrograde. Good morning, Badger. Good morning. Oh, he's fine. Oh, poor kitty baby. I hope your kitty baby's okay. You should give yourself a pass. Yeah, I should. Yeah, I just have to get the subscriptions because I can't do this anymore. My whole show pins on reading these stories. I can't do it. So whatever, I'll figure it out. Okay. Oops. Let's see. I just want to make sure we're not missing anything. Wow, they're really not going to do the UN thing. Okay. Okay. Everybody world. Let me just. I'm just making sure that the UN didn't actually start on another channel. Hold on. Boy. Sorry. I'm watching. Oh, here we go. Duffy's holding a. Oh. Okay. Duffy is holding a briefing on expanding American drone use and safety in U.S. airspace. That might be mildly interesting. Maybe. Sort of. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay. Oh, I guess the UN hasn't started yet. That's kind of weird. Don't you think they probably already did start? I don't really get that. Okay. All right. Sorry. I'm sorry. This is way that this isn't the best show. Okay. It's not going to be the best show. All right, we'll read this. In his 7-story townhouse, the sex offender hosted the elite, displayed photos with presidents, and showcased a first edition of Lolita, according to previously unreported photos and letters. So I can read it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Didn't you give me a gift article? Wait. Weird. All right. Here we go. Let me do this and this and that, and everything is everywhere all at once. Yeah. Okay. Wow. One of those days. Okay. As a gift for Epstein's 63rd birthday, friends sent letters in tribute to the wealthy financier and convicted sex offender. Several shared a common theme, recounting the dinner gatherings that Mr. Epstein regularly hosted at his palatial townhouse on Manhattan's Upper East Side, where he lived next door to Howard Nutlicker. Yeah, that's right. You know, the guy who's the head of the, what is he the head of? What's he the head of? Oh my God, what is Nutlicker? Oh, Commerce? Is he the head of Commerce? Yeah. Okay. Ehud Barak, former Prime Minister of Israel, and his wife noted the great diversity of guests. There's no limit to your curiosity, they wrote in their message, which was compiled with others in January 2016. You are like a closed book to many of them, but you know everything about everyone. The media mogul Mortimer Zuckerman suggested ingredients for a meal that would reflect the culture of the mansion, a simple salad, and whatever else would enhance Jeffrey's sexual performance. Ew. And the director Woody Allen described how the dinners reminded him of Dracula's castle, where Lugosi has 3 young female vampires who service the place. Wait, what? Wait, what? Do they rewrite this? A letter from Woody Allen. View the PDF. Okay, I kind of want to because I can't read that typing. Oh, I guess I can read that typing. Okay, never mind. So Woody Allen says, being neighbors, my wife Sunyi and I have been invited for dinner many times, always accept, always interesting, wide variety of interesting people at every dinner just about. Politicians, scientists, teachers, magicians, comedians, intellectuals, journalists, an entomologist, a concert pianist, anyhow. It's always interesting, and the food is sumptuous and abundant. Lots of dishes, plenty of choices, numerous desserts, well served. I say well served. Often it's by some professional houseman, and just as often by several young women, reminding one of Castle Dracula, where Lugosi has 3 young female vampires who service the place. And to think that Jeffrey lives in a vast house alone, one can picture him sleeping in damp earth. But back to the food. Dependably a fine dinner, but this was not always the case. In fact, the first time we came over, it was a very different story. We were invited with a list of accomplished types, men and women in journalism and TV, even royalty. We were ushered up to the living room where everyone sat around prior to dinner being served and chatted. No drinks were served. You could get one if you asked for one. That should have been the first clue. When the meal was put out downstairs, it was meager. So meager, my wife, the ones sitting next to her, kept mumbling, "Is this it? Is this all we're getting? After I leave, I may have to go to a restaurant." We didn't want to say anything when we came the next time, but my wife did say that in that tactful way she has, "There is going to be more food, isn't there?" Under her badgering, the situation gradually improved, and subsequent dinners offered buckets of Chinese food ordered from a local restaurant and placed out on a buffet where one could get in line and help oneself. It all seemed odd for a man of substance who entertained many illustrious guests often. Under continued badgering, my wife arrangements were made for food to be cooked at home and served. She had to explain the order in which things come out, not the main course and then the appetizer, but the other way around. In time, she bullied him into putting a few flowers in the middle of the table to make it look mildly warm and inviting. This took time and a number of corrections, but his meals have been tweaked into some sense of normal, civil dining. The large phone and computer at his right hand does take some of the relaxed home cooking atmosphere out of it, but one can't have everything, not at Castle Dracula. So, fuck Woody Allen. But Mr. Epstein's prized property was no gloomy Transylvanian fortress. He had spent years turning the 7-story, 21,000 square foot townhouse into a place where he could flaunt and deepen his connections to the rich and powerful, even as hints of his dark side lurked within, according to previously undisclosed photos and documents showing how he lived in his later years. Since Mr. Epstein's death in federal custody in 2019, which was ruled a suicide, many mysteries about his life have remained unsolved. How did he amass a 9-figure fortune? And why did so many powerful men continue to fraternize with him long after he became a registered sex offender? The White House had pledged to release details about the federal investigations into Mr. Epstein and his associates, but this summer the Trump administration backpedaled. The ensuing right-wing outrage has threatened to splinter the Make America Great Again movement, for whom Mr. Epstein is a central figure in conspiracy theories, and has put Mr. Trump on the defensive like few other issues. Seeking to quell the backlash, the Justice Department dispatched a top official to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell, Mr. Epstein's longtime associate, who's serving a 20-year prison sentence for sex trafficking. On Friday, Ms. Maxwell was moved to a lower security facility. That fueled speculation that Mr. Trump might commute her sentence or even pardon her in return for her cooperation. In return for her silence. Please, give me a fucking break. For years, Ms. Maxwell was a fixture in Mr. Epstein's New York townhouse where she had an office, but she and Mr. Epstein had split by the mid-2010s. A framed photo in the townhouse showing Mr. Epstein with Mr. Trump and then-girlfriend Melania Knauss was cropped to exclude Ms. Maxwell. At least one other MAGA luminary also visited the townhouse. Oh, Stephen K. Bannon, with all of his shirts and all of his pens. A former advisor to Mr. Dump and an online media personality who has said that he videotaped hours of interviews in the mansion with Mr. Epstein in 2019. Oh, really? Framed photos of Mr. Bannon, including a mirror selfie snapped by Mr. Epstein, were kept in at least 2 rooms in the mansion. Wow. He really wanted to see a picture of Steve Bannon. The townhouse was one of 5 properties around the world owned by Mr. Epstein after his release in 2009 from a Florida jail where he served 13 months for soliciting prostitution from a teenager who is that's a child. I'm going to remind you. The mansion served as both a personal hideaway and a salon where he could hold court with accomplished intellectuals, scientists, and financiers, according to legal records and interviews with people who frequented the home. The visitors considered Mr. Epstein fun, smart, and curious. Another perk, getting to mingle with the young, attractive women who roamed the property and worked as his assistants. The townhouse, a stone's throw from Central Park, was sold to Mr. Epstein in 1998 by Leslie Wexner, the billionaire owner of L Brands. Mr. Epstein renovated and redecorated the mansion in an eccentric style. Dozens of framed prosthetic eyeballs line the entryway. A sculpture of a woman wearing a bridal gown and clutching a rope was suspended in the central atrium. In the ground floor dining room, Mr. Epstein entertained a rotating cast of celebrities, academics, politicians, and businessmen. The food could be mundane, sometimes nothing more than a buffet of Chinese takeout, Mr. Allen's letter noted, but the events were anything but. Photos show that guests sat in leopard print chairs around a large rectangular table. Occasionally, attendees said in interviews a magician performed. Sometimes a chalkboard was wheeled out so a guest could sketch a diagram or write a mathematical formula. Epstein preserved a map of Israel drawn on a chalkboard with Mr. Barak's signature, according to a photo reviewed by the New York Times. And there's pictures of him with the Pope, and there's other people, and more other people. I don't know who all those people are. Photos show a credenza crowded with framed snapshots flaunting Mr. Epstein's connections to some of the world's most recognizable people, except for I don't know who any of them are. Oh well. Oh, wait. There was Mr. Epstein smiling along Pope John Paul II, Mick Jagger, Elon Musk, and Fidel Castro. Oh. And there is Larry Summers, former President Bill Clinton, and Richard Branson. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, that's such a weird picture of Larry Summers. Like, oh yeah, I just want this weird-ass picture of Larry Summers sitting on my piano. That's so weird. I mean, I understand, like, oh, I took a picture with Bill Clinton. I'm going to put that on my fucking piano. But not this. Like, just a rando picture of Larry Summers? That's weird. Weird. Oh, there's Mr. Dumpy Dump. Nearby was the photo from 2000 showing Mr. Epstein with Mr. Trump and the future First Lady minus Ms. Maxwell. That's the original photo. And then the photo here. Oh, womp womp. Next to that was a framed dollar bill signed by Bill Gates, possibly as payment of a bet. I was wrong, the Microsoft co-founder wrote over George Washington's face. There's the dollar that Bill Clinton gave him. Up a grand staircase was Mr. Epstein's wood-paneled office featuring a massive desk. Photos show a taxidermied tiger lounging on a lush rug. Oh, wow. That's a lot of pictures. Saudi Arabia's crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. There he is. There he is with Jeffrey Epstein. In the office, according to photos reviewed by the Times, Mr. Epstein showcased a green first edition of Lolita, the 1955 novel in which an intellectual develops a sexual obsession with a 12-year-old girl and repeatedly rapes her. Atop a wooden sideboard were more framed photos, including one of Mr. Epstein with Saudi Arabia's crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. All right, I do like the wallpaper, but another flight up was Mr. Epstein's sanctum, a suite that included his bedroom, the mansion's infamous massage room, and a cluster of bathrooms. Mounted in a corner above his bed was a surveillance camera, photos show. Ah, here it is. Crazy. I like that. A second camera can be seen in an adjoining room. This is the other camera. Da, 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 da. Several of Mr. Epstein's victims have said the mansion was outfitted with a network of hidden video cameras. In the massage room were paintings of naked women, a large silver ball and chain, and shelves stocked with lubricant, according to photos reviewed by the Times. Mr. Epstein regularly directed teenage girls, some recruited from middle schools in Queens, to massage him while he was naked. Sometimes he masturbated in front of them, according to court records and interviews with victims. Sometimes he raped or assaulted them. No surveillance cameras were visible in the photos of the massage room. An earlier collection of letters presented to Mr. Epstein in a leather-bound album for his 50th birthday in 2003 reflected an era of his life before he was first arrested. That book included dozen contributions from Mr. Trump and Mr. Clinton, among dozens of others. The Wall Street Journal reported Mr. Trump has denied a report in the Journal that he contributed to a sexually suggestive note and drawing. He has sued the news organization for defamation. Mr. Clinton's spokesman has said the former president was unaware of Mr. Epstein's crimes. I mean, I think it's time to just stop. Like, just fucking stop lying. Just stop fucking lying. All right, Bill? Everybody knows that you're an asshole. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Let me catch up with chat. Yeah. The transaction fees for 25 cents is probably more than 25 cents. I use Bing. Oh, it does? I just hate Bing. Blame it on the Mercury. A lot of international travelers are avoiding Vegas this year. Oh. Almanac says Mercury retrograde another 5 days. Chart app doesn't show it. Damn. I just posted a video to Discord. A little eccentric, but take what you will. Oh, what's it about? UN hit the snooze button. Yeah, I guess they decide, oh, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Let me hit this link because I want to just, I want to save it for later. Okay. Let's come back to here. Let's come back to here. Okay, here we go again. Oh, no. Oh, Jimmy Comer. Jimmy Comer, what are you doing? What are you doing, Jimmy Comer? Oh, my God. Oh, it's going to be a busy fall, people. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, my God, William Barr? Are you kidding me? The House Oversight Committee is compelling. Oh, this means nobody's coming. Okay, I understand. Compelling the following individuals to appear for depositions through issued subpoenas. Subpoenas. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Merrick Garland, James Comey, William Barr, Alberto Gonzalez, Jeff Sessions, little Jeff Sessions. They're even dragging him in there. Big old Robert Mueller, who might at this point not even know where he is. Loretta Lynch, because, and Eric Holder, which also, Loretta Lynch and Eric Holder don't make a ton of sense to me, but I'm sure that they don't like them. Oh my God. That's so dumb. Jimmy Comer. I saw how empty Vegas is. Good time to find deals or go. I've never been. I mean, that's probably a good idea. Check your DM. I will. It is attorneys general back to, oh, okay. Alberto Gonzalez, the baseball player? No, I'm just kidding. I also wonder if Trump's TVs at the plaza were bugged. Oh my God, that's a good point. Well, remember, he got a bunch of TVs from the Russians. Remember, he bought televisions for his hotels in the 80s from the Russians. That's one of the ways they got into his world. So, read Craig Unger. Craig Unger knows. He knows. Wait, Paulina, what did you say? You said who's 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 I had read somewhere that Kimball Musk was a big guest at the time. Oh, really? Oh, the candid pics must imply something else. Where the Trump brothers are trying to launch a PAC. The original filing said it was well positioned to tap federal or state. I don't know what that means, but I'm not surprised. WAG after Ashcraft. Yeah, what about him? What about John Ashcraft? What about him? Why isn't he there? Why isn't he there? I don't understand. Okay, we got to get back to this. We'll finish this one and then we'll move on. Oh, whoops. Dead. Oh, he's dead. Oh, well, I guess it'd be hard to call him then. Oops, sorry. Sorry, I didn't think you were dead, but there you are. You're dead. You're dead. Bill and Hillary. Paulina Luna posts. Bill and Hillary Clinton will be receiving matching subpoenas. No, she didn't say matching. Regarding Epstein files to testify in the next few days per Jim. Oh, so they haven't even sent the fucking subpoenas yet. What? Oversight has issued a subpoena to DOJ for files. Isn't that kind of working against their aim, which is to protect President Dump? Or have they removed his name from everything and now it just says Bill Clinton? Everywhere there was Donald Trump, they did a find and replace in the Epstein files. Find Donald Trump, replace with Bill Clinton. Listen, Bill Clinton is probably a piece of shit. I know it. You know it. We all know it. I don't need Bill Clinton can defend himself. Right. I said that about the KGB. The last thought didn't fit. LOL. Not Canadian. No. He's dead, not Canadian. That's right. Yeah, one sick SOB. I mean, they all are. You mean he slept at the prison and went to work every day? Mm-hmm. Sure he did. He went to work. Former presidents subpoenaed by Congress since 1900. Harry Truman, Donald Trump, and now Bill Clinton. Number of former presidents who have testified under compulsion by Congress, still 0. Well, there you go. But by 2016, as Mr. Epstein's reputation as a sexual predator became increasingly hard to ignore. Oh, New York Times. Oh boy. Yeah, that's all it was. It was just so hard to ignore. It's not that anybody made choices to ignore it. It just was so hard to ignore. His social network was shrinking. 3 years later, he would die in a Manhattan jail while awaiting prosecution on federal sex trafficking charges. Oh my God, that's a real tiger, like a stuffed real tiger. Can you see that? Oops. Ah. Why is my screen so delicate? God damn. I want you to be able to see the pictures. Come on now. Come on, Grease. Okay. There we go. You can at least see a little bit of it. Anyway, that's a real tiger that's like taxidermy. Okay, Karen has a good question. Nobody's ever come forward and accused Clinton of pedophilia or rape, have they? No. I think it was. I can't recall what the Lewinsky charges were, if they were compulsion. I don't think so. I think it was I don't know if it was defamation of character or something like that. I can't remember. No, yeah, I think I think Trump's the only one so far. Not that nobody's committed it, but you know what I'm saying. That's what was so interesting, especially Lolo commentary. Off topic, my lawn has a lot less crabgrass. Hell yeah, Jane. You know what 3I Atlas stands for? Third Interstellar Asteroid Terrestrial. I did not know that. Where'd that come from? I watched an interview with Alan Dershowitz yesterday where he said Epstein wasn't a pedophile because most of his girlfriends were 15 to 6. He didn't say that, Jim. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He really said that. He really said that. Is this? Oh wait, let me. Did I pull up this Kyle Cheney one? Na 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 na. Oh, I see. There you go. Okay, great. Oh my God, they're gonna be so mad. But I think here's the bottom line. Clearly, Donald Trump needs Ghislaine Maxwell to get him off. And I don't mean that way. I mean get him off of the heating pad that he's sitting on. And there's a world where I can imagine that Ghislaine Maxwell gets a pardon, and the new job of the right wing media machine is to whitewash or whatever, clean up the reputation of Ghislaine Maxwell. I know, but they're really good at covering for rapists, okay? Right? And they're really good at covering and explaining away pedophiles in their party. So hear me out. But there's a world where Ghislaine Maxwell does get a pardon in order to implicate other people and exonerate Trump. Now, I think it's tough right now because she probably is negotiating very toughly, I would imagine, because she does, and her lawyer does, hold all the keys, right? There's more to tell than what came out in her court case, I'm sure. And she is probably playing that hand now to get as much freedom as she possibly can. So, I don't know. Do with that what you will. But I think this is also personally, I think this is a convenient moment where if Trump has outlasted his usefulness by the donor class, i.e. Peter Thiel, who also had a very significant relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, by the way. There's definitely a world where I could see Thiel is the one holding the cards. And if Thiel wants to bring down Trump, he can find a way to do that while protecting himself. And it doesn't really matter, so it's going to be a very interesting time to see what happens with Ghislaine Maxwell and whether or not she actually is given a pardon. Oh boy, it's bad. Bad, bad, bad. The Times reviewed 7 birthday messages given to Epstein in 2016. In addition to those from Mr. Zuckerman, Mr. Allen, and Mr. Barack, there were letters from the linguist Noam Chomsky and his wife, Joichi Ito, an entrepreneur who years later would resign from MIT and the board of the New York Times Company because of his ties to Epstein, and Lawrence Krauss, a prominent physicist. Martin Nowak, a Harvard biologist, contributed a science-themed poem. Mr. Zuckerman, Mr. Allen, Mr. Ito, and Dr. Nowak and Mr. Bannon did not respond to requests for comments. Mr. Barack declined to comment. Dr. Chomsky's wife responded on his behalf and declined to comment. Dr. Krauss said he didn't recall the letter, but attended several lunches with very interesting discussions with scientists, authors, and others at Mr. Epstein's home. Oh, so it was just an Algonquin table for him. I get it. Whatever. What is that? There's like a... Hold on. Is there a dark square on there? There's not a dark square on there on my thing, like right over here. Anyway, okay. Sorry. Right over in this corner, there's like this dark square. Okay, but attended several lunches. Okay, in their typed letter, Mr. Barack and his wife, Nili Priel, hailed Mr. Epstein as a collector of people, The letter concluded, may you enjoy long and healthy life, and may all of us, your friends, can enjoy your table for many more years to come. Well, not really. Not really, bitch. Oh, wow. Okay. That video is not available. Didn't happen. I understand. I understand. I understand. La 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 la. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh. Do 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 do. Looks like there's an Illinois uh oh no, I'm not watching Ken Martin. Ken Martin can go fuck himself. I'm sorry. There's no way. There's no way. This is crazy. I can't tell you how much I dislike Ken Martin, who's the head of the Democratic National Committee. I think he is the milk toastiest of all milk toasts.
Of the color of their skin, so too are these courageous Texas House Democrats standing up and fighting back against a racial gerrymandering scheme to disenfranchise Black and Latino voters, all to desperately hold on to Congress.
This is the least inspiring man I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Standing shoulder to shoulder with them every single step of the way. And let me tell you something. We are supporting them not because it's a political fight, although it is, not because it's a necessary fight, although it is. We are supporting them because this is a moral fight, a fight worth fighting with every tool at our disposal. A fight for the fundamental value that voters should get to choose their leaders, not the other way around. Now, our message today is simple. It didn't have to be this way. It did not have to be this way. But Governor Greg Abbott, he could have simply picked up his pen to directly support individuals and families affected by the devastating floods in Kerr County. He didn't. He could have said no to Donald Trump and refused to redraw the electoral map in Texas. He didn't. It's clear that Republicans would rather play politics with our elections than support flood victims. They'd rather cheat than try to campaign on their failing record, a failing record which, by the way, includes voting for Trump's budget bill, which rips away health care for up to 1.7 million Texans. Republicans are running scared that voting for this monstrosity will make them lose their majority, and it certainly will. Which is why they're trying to disenfranchise Texas voters by packing and cracking them into districts to dilute their voting power, a clear and blatant violation of the Voting Rights Act. Now, I want to be very clear about this. The Trump-Abbott gerrymander is a test case for the rest of the country. What Republicans are trying to do in Texas is a model for other red states to lie, cheat, and steal their way to victory. They don't give a damn about the will of voters or their needs. In fact, they'd rather bend the knee to Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. than advocate for Texas. It's insulting, it's shameful, and it's wrong. And as I've said, Democrats are going to fight this tooth and nail, and until the will of the voters is respected. This is not the Democratic Party of your grandfather, which would bring a pencil to the knife fight. This is a new Democratic Party. We're bringing a knife to a knife fight, and we are going to fight fire with fire. We cannot, we will not let Republicans succeed in their efforts to gerrymander the map and tilt the election in their favor. I want to thank all of those who are here in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in the Texas House Democratic Caucus who have broken quorum to prevent this illegal Republican gerrymander from going through. And with that, it is my great honor to introduce one of those brave patriots, true patriot, State Representative Ramon Romero from Fort Worth.
Thank you, Chair Martin. My name is Ramon Romero, Jr., State Representative, District 90 in Fort Worth, Texas, and also Chairman of the Mexican American Legislative Caucus, the oldest and largest Latino caucus in the United States of America. So right now, there's folks saying that we walked out. And I think everyone behind me will say, we're standing up, and as Texans would say, we're standing tall. There's others that are saying and warning us that they're going to arrest us or make us pay fines. I'll pay that price for America. And I think everyone behind me would say they would do the same. That would be a very small price to pay for what we would save for these Americans that have fought so hard, and against the maps that aim directly at black and brown voices. Tomorrow marks 60 years since the Voting Rights Act was signed into law, and that law that was born out of sacrifice of people bleeding, marching, and even dying for the right to vote. And now here we are one day before that anniversary, watching Trump try to destroy it. That power grab by Trump and Abbott doesn't just have the goal of getting 5 more seats in Congress. It has another goal, a goal more sinister than that. And that is to make people believe that their vote doesn't really matter. That's why it's all of our fight, just like it was 60 years ago. LBJ signed that law. He was a proud Texan willing to stand up and fight for the sake of a better America. In a very difficult time, many of us remember what it was like prior to integration and remember those fights. They were not anything we want to go back to. I had my femur broken when I was 4 years old, just for being in the wrong place, thrown off of my own porch, broken because of those race wars. It's a day we should never want to go back to. That's what's being created right now when you shut a community out. Americans previously silenced through the era of segregation and a lack of basic human rights in a nation that was founded by principles of freedom, liberty, and yes, justice for all. That's what LBJ fought for, even though he knew he would lose the South. We don't have that kind of leadership in Texas anymore. We have a follower. You know, we fought a fight this year as Governor Abbott had his voucher scam to remove public school dollars and send them to private schools. And he was losing. He made a call to Trump. Trump, I need your help. And those people on the Republican side, they folded. So what we have today is Governor Abbott receiving the call from Trump.
Which could be true too, Butterfly.
And repaying that favor. And that's a damn shame. So today, we Texans, we're doing something we don't normally ask for. We're asking for help. Maybe just as they did back in the days of the Alamo when they asked the rest of the country to come and join in on this fight.
And normal, my part.
So we do ask you to join this fight because we're defending the rights of all Americans to value their vote and never be discouraged by way of a map drawn to say that your vote doesn't matter. We live in a blessed land, in a land that's for all, for freedom above all. So I want to thank you today, Governor Pritzker, for welcoming us in Illinois, and Lieutenant Governor Stratton, thank you for that beautiful message. And I don't know your daddy at 92 years old, but I love that man already. DNC Chair Martin, thank you for everyone in D.C.
Whatever it is you do.
Thank you for everybody that's come out on this fight. Lisa Hernandez, thank you for welcoming us as well, and all the Texas congressional members that are standing behind us. And now I want to welcome somebody that's famous in many ways, and a very gifted speaker, a very passionate human, my colleague Barbara Gervin Hawkins, leader of the Legislative Black Caucus. Yeah.
Thank you, Ramiro. I want to talk to America. America, this is not a Texas fight. This is an American fight. And we need each and every one of you involved and engaged. I'm Barbara Gervin Hawkins, State Representative out of San Antonio, Texas. I'm also chair of the Texas Legislative Black Caucus. And I'm on the redistricting committee. So I've seen firsthand what my colleagues are attempting to do. I'm proud to be here in Illinois with my colleagues who've given it up and have sacrificed a lot. Jobs, family, being caregivers. It's been a challenge. And people say, what are you doing in Illinois? We're here understanding that we do have real allies, allies who's also willing to sacrifice for us. I also want to talk to my colleagues, my Republican colleagues in Texas. You wrong for this. You wrong for this. You already have the governor's office. You're the majority in the Senate, the majority in the House. What more do you want? What more do you want? You have the power. It is time for y'all to love America again. I'm looking for my colleagues, my Republican colleagues, to be brave and stand up to what this demand has come. Think about it. We have a devastation that we have not addressed in our city. Over 130 people passed away, many young people. Some of those camp owners I know, but yet we're trying to ram a redistricting map. If they were serious about truly trying to go the will of the people that they think, we could do this next year or next time or wait for 10 years to do this. But the reality is Trump called and they fell down and say, what do you want us to do? Which says they're weak. And we don't need that in Texas. No. Texas is a great state. And we need to show our courage. And I'm asking my colleagues to show your courage, to be willing to fight the fight and stand against as we all together save America. I'm also looking at our Republicans across the country. Call some of your colleagues and tell them to vote against this because it is shameful. Now, I come from an athletic family. If anybody heard the name Gervin, they know about the finger roll. My brother may not have won a championship, but guess what? He never cheated in a game. That's right. He never cheated. And guess what our Republican colleagues are trying to do? Cheat in the game, and that's wrong. With that, I'd like to introduce a Congresswoman, Fletcher, who's in D.C., also fighting the fight. Because as we join together collectively as Americans, not black, white, brown, green, or blue, but as Americans who love this great country, let's stand together. Congresswoman.
Thank you so much, Representative Hawkins. And I am here to say thank you. I am Lizzie Fletcher, and I have the privilege of chairing Texas's Democratic congressional delegation in the 119th Congress. So on behalf of all of us, I'm here to say thank you to Governor Pritzker. Thank you to Lieutenant Governor Stratton. Thank you to Chairwoman Hernandez. Thank you to the Illinois congressional delegation members who are joining us here today and who have been welcoming our friends and colleagues and heroes from Texas here in Illinois. It is good to be back in Illinois. I was last here about a year ago, and I headed home to Texas after a pretty big convention, feeling hopeful for democracy and inspired by what I saw here in Chicago, here in Illinois. And I returned to Illinois last night feeling the same kind of hope and feeling a real inspiration, because what we see here happening in Illinois is the fight for our democracy, is the fight for America, and the people standing here today are on the front lines of that fight. These are the fighters for our democracy, and they are helping give a voice to all Texans and all Americans. And it's Democrats who are leading that fight. They are the ones fighting for democracy here in Illinois and across our beautiful country. So I also want to thank the head of the Democratic Party, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, Ken Martin, who's here with us today, who we already heard from. I'm here to say thank you to him, too, because he knows what we know. You know, in Texas, we're used to saying everything's bigger in Texas, and it's a pretty big state, 254 counties, 30 million people. But we know that this is bigger than Texas, and Chair Martin, everyone in Illinois, and people across the country are standing up with us. So I'm here to say thank you to all of them. And I'm here to say thank you for standing up for our country, for America, for the land of the free and the home of the brave. And I am here today to thank the brave, and that is the members of the Texas House Democratic Caucus who are here in Illinois, who are fighting the fight on behalf of Texans and all Americans. Representative Hawkins, Representative Romero are such great examples of the incredible members of the Texas House Democratic Caucus who have been working tirelessly to protect the rights of our fellow Texans and of all Americans. And the Texas House Democrats have taken a courageous stand. Make no mistake, they are here despite aggressive threats from our governor, from our attorney general, and from others who are threatening them. They are coming here at great sacrifice and at great risk. But let's make one thing clear. They are here to do their jobs, and they are doing their jobs by being here. They are protecting our fellow Texans from the racist and illegal maps that the governor and the Texas legislature are trying to rush through at the behest of President Trump. They are here standing up for the millions of Texans whose voices will be taken away if these maps are enacted. And it's important to know that in Texas, that means taking away the voices of minority voters who are the majority in our state. And with it, with all they are doing, it's important to understand this. We have, and I'll say just very briefly for those who need to know, we have 13 Democrats in Congress out of a delegation of 38. And all 13 of those Democrats who've been elected to the United States Congress are elected by a coalition of minority voters. And those are the only members of Congress who are consistently and reliably the candidates of choice of minority voters in Texas. And this map wants to take away five of those opportunities for minority voters to have their say and elect their candidate of choice. And, you know, in Texas, we have a long and shameful history of discrimination against minority voters. We all know about the white primaries that were struck down by the Supreme Court in 1944 and the other racist tactics to prevent people from exercising their right to vote at the ballot box. And tomorrow, we will celebrate the anniversary of the Voting Rights Act that said that people who live in states like Texas cannot do that anymore. But ever since the Voting Rights Act was enacted, Texas has been found in congressional map after congressional map and legislative map after legislative map to have violated the rights of Texans, of minority Texans who've historically been discriminated against in our state. So it is absolutely critical that we use our voices and our opportunity now to explain that this map, this proposal, violates the Voting Rights Act. It is an illegal racial gerrymander. And in Texas, those things are synonymous. When the GOP does a partisan gerrymander, it is a racial gerrymander. There is no difference in Texas. And it's important for everyone to know that this isn't just politics. This isn't just politics. So it's important that everyone across the country know and understand that we're fighting for the rights that are enshrined in the Voting Rights Act and that are the rights of every single American to have a say and the ability to exercise their right to vote in our country. And so Texas Democrats are here to do that, and I am so proud to see my representatives, my friends and colleagues taking a stand for all Texans. And with it, with the stand they're taking, they're inspiring the nation. And that's important because we need to know across the country what's happening and what's at stake. Over the last 6 months, we have seen an unprecedented and un-American power grab by the White House. And we've seen Republicans in Congress and now Republicans in Texas at every turn letting it happen and sometimes cheering it on. Well, Democrats aren't going to do that. Democrats are not going to let it happen. And while Republicans are surrendering,
she needed to wrap like
Democrats
15
are
seconds
fighting.
ago.
Texas Democrats are fighting. And every American can and must fight back. And with that, I'm proud to turn it over to my colleague from Houston, Congressman Al Green.
God, thank you. Finally. I love Al Green.
I'm proud to be a Democrat. And I'm very proud to be here with some people who are making trouble. We got some Texans who've come all the way to Chicago to make trouble. John Lewis would call them good troublemakers. Good troublemakers. These are the kinds of people who want to make sure that we take care of people here on earth. Why do I say this? Because I just heard this morning that this administration wants to put a nuclear reactor on the moon.
Yes.
I'm concerned about accessible housing here on earth. These are good troublemakers. So I cannot help but hearken back now to the Edmund Pettus Bridge. John Lewis was a personal friend of mine, and if I may say so, we shared time together and we spent time together. We went to jail together. And I'm proud to tell you, he told me the story of the Edmund Pettus Bridge. John Lewis explained to me that as they approached the crest of the bridge, they could see the men on horses. They could see men with clubs in their hands. Yet they marched on. Yeah. He knew what their intentionality was, but they marched on. They didn't turn back. These good troublemakers are not turning back. They're going to march on. They're going to stand strong. They marched on. And when they encountered the constabulary, they were met with clubs. They were simply trying to march peacefully from Selma to Montgomery. They were beaten all the way back to the church. John told me, he said, I thought I was going to die on that bridge. The Edmund Pettus Bridge. This, my friends, is an Edmund Pettus Bridge moment. This is one of those seminal moments in time that can impact the rest of time. And it's time for all of us, not just those of us who are here, but all of us in this country who believe in government of the people, by the people, for the people, not government of the bureaucracy, by the bureaucracy, for the bureaucracy, not government of the plutocrats, by the plutocrats, for the plutocrats, not government of the very, very wealthy, for the wealthy, but government for you, the people, the people. And if you believe in government for the people, you got to stand up for the people. And that doesn't just apply to the people who are here. There are some people who have strong voices, who have criticized Democrats, but they're not using their strong voices. You got to use your voice now. You got to come out. You got to come out. This is no time to take a break. Get involved. This is about us all. This is about our democracy. This is about our country. We all have to get involved. And as we get involved, let's remember this. At some point on the infinite continuum that we call time, we're all going to have to account for our time. And on that day, the question won't be, how many full bellies did you feed? Question won't be, how many billionaires did you try to get money in their pockets and lend money to them? No, the question is going to be, what did you do for the least, the last, and the lost? Right. What did you do for those who were hungry? Did you try to feed them, or did you try to take snap from them? Right. The question is going to be, what did you do for those who were unhoused, living under bridges? Veterans with signs up that say veteran, need help, will work for food. What did you do for them? Right. Did you try to build a nuclear reactor on the moon, or did you try to get affordable, accessible housing for them right here on Earth? Right. There's some difficult days ahead. But on this infinite continuum, here's one thing that I know. I don't know what the judgment will be, but I know what the record will show. Right. The record is going to show that troublemakers, good troublemakers, that Democrats were there for the least, the last, and the lost, that Democrats made a difference in the lives of people who were living in the streets of life, not just those living in the suites of life. Democrats are making a difference. And yes, they're on the right side of history. But more important than all of this, they're on the right side of righteousness. Righteousness. And yes, what the governor is doing in Texas is wrong. What is wrong with you, governor? What is wrong with you? You've had babies to lose their lives. Families are suffering. and you are trying to redistrict Texas? You make this your #1 item on your scorecard? What is wrong with you, Governor? You ought to be ashamed. Somebody's got to call you out. We're going to call you out now, and I believe we'll call you out in November of next year.
Right.
I close with this, dear brothers and sisters, and I say brothers and sisters because I truly do believe, as Dr. King did, that there's just one race, and that's the human race. And all of us were created to live in harmony. But here's my closing. I'm a son of the segregated South. The laws that were recognized to protect me and the Constitution, my friends and neighbors denied me those laws. They denied me those privileges. I drank from colored water fountains. I sat in the back of the bus, the balcony of the movie, and I was locked up once, and it was the bottom of the jail. Yes, I was denied. I know invidious discrimination when I see it. I know what it looks like. I've celebrated my 25th birthday 3 times. I'm now 2 years into my 4th 25th. I know what it looks like. I know what it sounds like. I know what it smells like. What's happening in Texas is invidious discrimination. It is racial. My dear friends, it is racist. It is. And we have to say it. We have to say it. That's what it is. I know it when I see it. I know it when I smell it. I know it when I hear it. And we have a duty, a responsibility, and an obligation to stand up to it. All of us. I'm telling you, it's not just Texas. If it were just Texas, Emmanuel Cleaver wouldn't have his seat on the chopping block in Missouri. It's more than Texas. It's this country. And we, the Democrats, are going to make the difference, because when democracy was on the line, let it be said that Democrats took the stand to preserve and save democracy in the United States of America. God bless you and thank you.
Certified badass.
Say, before we
I love
open it
Al
up for
Green.
questions, there is one person I want to acknowledge, a couple people. Of
Why
course,
is
Leader
Ken
Wu,
Martin
thank
even
you for your
talking?
leadership of the caucus. I also want to acknowledge you somewhere here, my colleague, the chair of the Texas Democratic Party, right over there, Kendall Scudder. Thank you for your leadership, Chairman. And, of course, Congressman Mark Vesey is here, and Congresswoman Julie Johnson is here somewhere, I believe. There she is over there. Thank you both. We're going to open it up for questions now, and I'll just call right over there. Go ahead. And can you please introduce
We are
yourself?
going to unleash American drone dominance.
Hold on.
So President Trump, not long ago, introduced an executive order.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
To make
Where
sure
is
that
it?
the cabinet put this issue on the forefront.
Oh, shit.
To make sure that we lean in to our airspace when it relates
Hold on. I'm going to find out where the fuck that's playing.
That on the consumer drone market, China controls 90% of this market. And the problem with that is we're turning over our skies to one of our main adversaries. Huge problem, and it's going to happen no longer.
Oh, shit.
Now, the issue hasn't been that America just
damn it.
can't innovate. America can't create. America
That's Sean
can't
Duffy. I
build
just can't find the motherfucker.
Amazing drone technology. It's that we've had a bureaucracy in place that makes it incredibly incredibly difficult for innovators to actually innovate, which is why we're here today. This department, along with the FAA, understands how important unmanned aircraft systems are for the 21st century. It's going to change the way that people and products.
I'm so sorry about that. God damn it. Okay, here we go. Back to the.
He hasn't held back. Just this morning, he said that the Republicans are entitled to these 5 seats, right? And let me just be really, really clear
Did he
about
sniff?
this. No party is entitled to any district. We have to go out and earn the votes, and that's what a democracy is about. The fact that Donald Trump believes he's entitled to these seats and he's entitled to this unconstitutional power grab, should tell you everything you need to know. Listen, at the end of the day, as I said, we're going to keep standing up to this. It's illegal. It's immoral. It's racist. And, you know, look, Donald Trump has talked about it. He's going to continue to talk about it. His first call was to Greg Abbott. They're doing his bidding. It's very clear what they're up to here because they know they're going to lose in 2026. Yes. Sure.
I believe Trump said as recently as this morning that Illinois is already gerrymandered. I'm curious whether you're any closer now than you were a few days ago to possibly redrawing maps to Illinois, and if you're taking any action to that, such as calling a special session of our own here, whether that be even after 2026.
Look, I've been really clear that, again, let me repeat, Donald Trump is a cheater. So is Governor Greg Abbott. And Texas Republicans are carrying out their will. And if they're going to cheat, then all of us have to take a hard look at what the effect of that cheating is on democracy. And that means we've all got to stand up and do the right thing. So as far as I'm concerned, everything is on the table.
We'll go,
yes.
Over there. Sorry, yeah.
He's asking what his commitment financially is to them staying in Illinois.
Whether I'm writing checks, to this. Let me be clear. You're saying, of course, but let me be clear. I have stood with the Texas House Democrats. We have been in consultation for weeks and weeks. This possibility was always something that we feared, and I made it clear to them that we'd do everything that we could, logistically and otherwise, to try to support them. I have not written a check or supported them financially, though I am not reticent to do that. But I have not done that. But lots and lots of people around the country have. Lots of people. And you can go to texasdemocrats.com/donate and give money to support this and the efforts of Texas Democrats across the state.
Has your Think Big America donated? I noticed you guys had some
no.
messages coming.
No, again, I know you all are interested in that, but no.
You know, again, right now we are
going
to
to
continue to support their efforts as we have. We've had communications help. We've provided organizing help. We've been on the ground from day one of this really tragic episode here. And we're going to continue to support those efforts. And you know what? We're going to do everything we can to help resource this, make sure that they have the resources to actually pull this off. You know, they're making huge sacrifices. Every single one of these folks have left their jobs, they've left their families, they left their communities that they love. And you know what? It's time that the Democratic Party and all people who care about democracy support them in these efforts. We're going to do everything we can to support them. So, yes, back up.
That might be the most useful thing he's done.
Chairman, I'm wondering what your response is to the Department of Justice saying the redistricting is for 4 districts in Texas that are gerrymandered because they're coalition districts, because they're predominantly black and Hispanic, including Congressman Green's District 9, that they're directing their own state from redistricting in 2025.
I think it's ridiculous. It's a pretext for them to do this, and they're absolutely wrong on their analysis here. The reality is that this is clearly, they're violating the Voting Rights Act. There's no doubt about it. They're disenfranchising minority voters. And, you know, look, where's Congressman Fletcher? And Congressman Fletcher can talk about this. But the reality is I think that Department of Justice analysis on this is completely flawed. I don't buy it. It's garbage. It's pretext to do what they're doing right now. It's not factual. It's not based in law. And again, we're going to fight it. And, you know, I expect litigation. I expect us to do everything. As I said, we're going to fight fire with fire. We're going to use every tool at our disposal, including pushing back on what the Department of Justice says here. And Lizzie, do you want to say something more on that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll just add one thing because I think it's important. I think Chair Martin is absolutely right that letter is pretext for this action, but that letter is not right legally or otherwise. And important facts to know, Texas Republicans drew this map in 2021 that they are now saying has a problem. And Texans have been in court just this year in a trial in El Paso where every single person involved in drawing those maps testified under oath that these maps were drawn race blind. That is what they said they did, and it's important to know they drew these maps.
May I add something, please? Oh, yeah. Please allow me to add this. Yes, there is a trial in El Paso. I'm one of the plaintiffs. I've been in court almost since I arrived in Congress, fighting against invidious discrimination. And for everybody's edification, the Attorney General of the state of Texas says that the maps were colorblind. The Attorney General, the architect said to be one of the senators, I won't call her name, but I know her initials. Joan, well, everybody knows who she is. Joan Huffman, all right. She says
I don't know who that is.
that the map is colorblind. The President of the United States, by and through his Attorney General, used that language because he knows it's a buzzword, buzz language. It triggers things. It triggers emotions.
Coalition districts, yeah.
And but we're not going to let him get away with it. This country still stands for liberty and justice for all. And that's why we Democrats are going to enforce just that premise, liberty and justice for all.
We got room for.
Okay, let me go ahead and just, there's an article that I found. Sorry. Okay, hold on. Sorry. I do have an article about that. It is coalition districts. So I'll just read one paragraph. 4 of Texas's congressional districts were unconstitutional, the Department of Justice warned. 3, the 9th, the 18th, and the 33rd were unconstitutional, quote, coalition districts, where Black and Hispanic voters combined to form a majority. The 29th, while majority Hispanic, was also unconstitutional, the letter said, because it was created by its 2 neighbors being coalition districts. What? So this is the thing that started the Texas redistricting as a way to gerrymander, which is manipulate the vote, to eliminate districts that represented their constituents, like Black and Hispanic. And so if you look at the details of the redistricting plan, it really cuts out and waters down typically Democratic districts and eliminates, I think, like 3 of them. It's bad, and it's not fair, and it's not representative of Texas. And at some point, Texas and other states have to allow voting to happen and for areas to be represented by the people that it does represent the area. And I'm sorry they don't feel that way and that they have to cheat in order to hold the Texas governance, all of the legislature as well as the governorship, et cetera. So it's cheating. It's just cheating. And I think that one of the things that is going to be lashed out against Democratic governors and Democratic legislatures is that they will start to redistrict in response to it to try and cement representation. But that's going to be portrayed as the same type of gerrymandering when in fact it's really a response to manipulation and gerrymandering that cuts out Black and brown voters. So this is a terrible game, and it should not be played with what is the most precious right in this country, which is to vote in your representatives. So there's a lot, and it's almost complicated by design in terms of how districting happens, but it's worth it. It will be the battle we have to fight until the midterms and beyond. But I think they're especially nervous about the midterms. So, Josh, you drove from New York to Illinois yesterday and did a road food. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. That's terrible. I also wanted to say that's such good news. Rhonda Harbison, who's a dear, dear friend of the lounge, a wonderful OSINT researcher, primarily on Twitter. I think Rhonda has been on Blue Sky, if I'm not mistaken, but I think she's mostly still on Twitter. She had dropped off the radar for a minute, and we were really a little bit concerned, but I understand that she has posted today on Twitter, and we're really, really, I just want to shout out that Rhonda, I love you so much. Rhonda is one of the salt of the earth people on this planet, and I just really love her. So we'll drop her. I'll take a look at her handle, drop her handle in the notes so that people can take a look. But her research is absolutely fucking fabulous. So Rhonda, we love you at the lounge. We love you so much, and you go, girl. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. All right, let's finish up with the Ken doll.
For a few more questions, right over there.
If I can, Governor, just to follow up on a question from earlier.
Sure.
Can you just level set for people? There are 3 Republicans in the state delegation here in Illinois. You can't undo what is happening in Texas if that is successful with the 5 Republicans that would be added there. What's the extent of the pushback that you could have here in Illinois on what's happening in Texas?
Look, number one,
probably.
we're very happy to host these heroes and stand up with them and for them.
Yeah.
Here in the state of Illinois, it is possible to redistrict. It's not something that I want to do. It's not something that any of us want to have to do. We're hoping that this will be successful, that the fact that there's no quorum in Texas will be successful. But once again, we're fighting for democracy. There are no rules anymore, apparently. And so we're going to have to play by the set of rules that are being set
Josh,
out
I know
in front
that.
of us.
I know
which,
that hell.
frankly,
I'm sorry.
None of us believes is the right way to operate. And what Congressman Green said is right. This is unconstitutional. This is about standing up for people's voting rights and standing up for black and brown people who are going to be iced out by what Donald Trump and Greg Abbott are trying to do. So here in Illinois, we'll do everything that we can to support that endeavor.
We're going to go here, and then we'll go here. Go ahead. Can you introduce yourself? Listen, our Constitution is under assault. Voting rights are being completely violated. Now is not the time for one party to play by the rules while the other party has completely ignored them. So they've decided to cheat. They've decided to cheat, and we're going to respond in kind. And listen, none of us wanted to be here. This is Donald Trump and Greg Abbott's doing. Make no mistake about it. The Democratic Party didn't start this fight, but we're not going to roll over. They want to fight, we're going to give it to them, and we're going to put every option on the table. Right there. This is our last question right here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious about the obsession with how it's being funded. My phone and the phones of every member here have been blowing up nonstop from constituents, from people that I've met 5 years ago, from people around the country somehow got my number, texting me, "We support you. How can we help?" I have to have our donation link saved to a separate file so I can just go and copy it and paste it in every single time. Who is supporting us? The American people are supporting us.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. And thank these Texas patriots right here. Thank you.
All right, that was good. Ken Martin's an idiot. I'm sorry. He's not inspiring. He can't inspire a paper bag. Sorry about that. Oh my God. I once drove 750 miles nonstop except fuel, food, and restroom. Never again. I can't stand long drives. I look for state or federal land to relieve myself when traveling through certain states like Indiana. That's a good idea because you have to be careful. Is he literally on the roof? Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me find this. Little orange man, Trump on a roof. That's my search. Surprise. Trump speaks to reporters from the roof. Oh, yeah. No, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Oh my God, there's video. Oh, there's video. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Who is with him? Who is with him? Who did this? Who did this? Is he going to the moon from the roof? Sorry, I have to steal this really janky news service thing of it. Who are these people? Who are these people? Is this around the construction? He really is on the roof. Take a look. Bungee jump. I mean, this is about this has to be on the, wait, he's inspecting the work on the White House roof? Oh my God. Oh my God, really? Really? He doesn't have anything more important to do than to look at construction projects? Are you kidding? It's probably, oh, he's probably doing a walkthrough of the gaudy ballroom site, yeah. I know, he doesn't know what he's looking at, right, Tom? Gaudy, yeah, I know what you're doing here. Jump! We think you should jump. Maybe he'll add another flagpole, yeah. Okay, so this is great. Wait a minute, let's find out. Well, never trust a bow tie, that's what I have to say. Okay, so he's walking.
Mr. President, what are you doing up there?
What are you doing? Mr. President, what are you doing up there? I'm gonna clip that. Oh my God, I'm gonna play it again. Wait, I think I've got it. I don't know.
Mr. President, what are you doing up there?
Taking a little walk.
Come down and talk to us.
Come down and talk to us.
What are you doing?
Rose Garden look. Goes with the ballroom, which is on the other side. Are you considering more renovations, sir? Hello, Peter. You're looking good, Peter.
Are you going to build up there?
Something beautiful.
What does that mean?
What do you? More ways to spend my money.
Can you give us another hint?
We'll show you. It's just another way to spend my money for the country.
He's spending his money?
Anything I do is financed by me, so
Anything I do is financed by me. Anything I do is financed by me. I'm baiting. I need that soundbite. I need the go away I'm baiting soundbite. I'll do that. Are you gonna bungee jump? He's gonna spend his money, yeah.
contributed. Just like my salary is contributed, but nobody ever mentions that. Are you going to add another medal?
What are you doing up there? Let's see if there's any other interactions. He fell off. You pushed him. I think that might have been about it. That's what I thought he said. Roof Watch 2025. You can fly, you can fly, you can fly. Oh my God. a podium? Wait, there's a podium? There's a podium. What are you doing up there? Hi, Val. That was Ken Martin. That was Ken Martin. I know you don't deserve this. You're right. Probably not high enough. Yeah, it's really not. You're not high enough. I think we overdid it. We overstayed our welcome on the roof, much like he has. Oh my God. Let me make this a little smaller. Up, me, up, boop. Oh my God. Oh my God. Where are we going and what are we doing? It is so incredible to me. This isn't real. It is not real. Where's the smoke in the pigeon? Yeah, exactly. He gives up a $400,000 yearly salary to receive $250 billion in grift and bribes. What a deal! Oh, he is a deal. You know what's going to be entertaining though? I'm still on death watch. I'm still on, and I mean death watch by either he drops dead or his career dies, and Peter Thiel and JD Vance move him out so that they can just take over and run it the way they want to. That is really what I think is going to happen. I think by the end of this year, Dump's going to be out, JD Vance is going to be in, and then the real problems begin. Because it's all intentional now. Yeah, wow. What a guy. What a guy. What a guy. I hope he does too. Oh, I hope the vein pops on live TV. I agree, Grace Lisa. I agree. I hope the aneurysm happens in real time at the actual podium. I think that would be great. I would get down with that. Oh my God. Okay, well let's read some stuff. Let's try and get our brains back to some kind of semblance of normal. The women Epstein abused said protect their IDs and release the files. Yeah, Jane, that makes sense. I could also see where the women who were victimized by Epstein and his cronies, aka Trump, etc. I could see where they would have no trust in this government to actually redact meaningfully and then protect them. You know what I mean? Like I really could understand why they might feel like their privacy is not protected in this administration. So yeah, maybe Trump should walk on the Capitol dome. I agree. I agree. The roof is for hire. What song is that, Carla? Let's see. But they'll still blame the Democrats for his passing. Yeah. Well, yeah, and you always get yelled at because, you like, oh, you shouldn't wish anybody dead. Well, unfortunately, this man acts in ways that kill people every day. So I don't really care about him. And that's really just the end of it. I don't really care. I don't care about any of those guys. They've made their bed. Now they're going to lie in it. And that includes me wishing them dead. Sorry. That's just the way it is. If you're not a shithead, I'm not going to wish you dead. If you are a shithead, I'm going to wish you dead. I don't care. So there you go. They're putting in a Russian prostitute water slide. That's for the new grotto. That's the new grotto. Wait, are you? Oh, van life, where people are saying it's happening. Oh, Butterflies is asking about van life and being harassed by police locally. That's terrible. I hope that's not happening, especially to Val, because I'll come and beat them up. I love Val. I'll do anything for Val. Okay, so we're gonna read a few articles. Sorry, there's a lot of disparate articles, so they're not like all connected. So I really apologize. Maybe brides for the incels. Well, they can't have incels, right? Because they're not fuckable. Oh, The Roof is on Fire by Rockmaster Scott and Dynamic 3. I don't know if I know that song. I'm terrible with names of songs and lines and then guessing what the whole song is. Again, unfortunately, I have a wide but shallow experience in music. So the Big Biff's Pleasure Palace. Yeah, lips. He likes lips. Remember, he said something about Caroline's lips, I think. Did he? Yeah, I think he did. Okay, let's take it over here and take it over there because we're going to be reading some things and I got to make it be. Yeah. yeah. Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for you and me. Krusty Krab, yeah. Sorry, we sing that song a lot in this house. I don't know about you. Okay, let's read something about, speaking of impotence, let's read, Reuters has some stuff. Exclusive, Putin doubts the potency of Trump's ultimatum to end the war, sources say. What? Russian President Vladimir Putin is unlikely to bow to a sanctions ultimatum expiring this Friday from U.S. President Donald Trump and retains the goal of capturing 4 regions of Ukraine in their entirety. Oh, really? Sources close to the Kremlin told Reuters. I want to take over Ukraine. You see? Get out of my way. I'm going to take over Ukraine. Oh, wait. I didn't go to the actual story. Dang. Okay, sorry. Krusty Krab is the pizza for you and me. Is it Friday yet? Is it Friday? No. Miss Piggy dressed up like Carolyn Levitt. Stop it. Oh, Firewater burned by the bloodhound. Carla, that's a completely different song. Her lips are like a machine gun, I think he said. Oh. 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 Well, there you go. I wish his pamper would explode onto Con Levitt and Stephen Miller. Oh my God. Caroline's face is like she went to the plastic surgeon and asked for the Michael Jackson. I know her nose is very oddly shaped. Her nose is very oddly shaped. I noticed that when I was looking, because I was looking for the lip comment, and I'm like, then I was looking at her face and I'm like, what it is about her lips that are so like attractive? Because I don't find them attractive. Not that, I'm the best judge of lips, but I don't think they're well, I don't know. I mean, I think he just wants to fuck everything around him, frankly. And then, the way that people have to suck up to him also makes him think that he is the Lothario that he is not. Jenna girl is basic as fuck. She's not. Jean's girl. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. Well, what's interesting is like there were some people this morning saying, I'm going to watch everything that Sydney Sweeney made. Well, get ready because she was in Euphoria. So I don't know if you're going to enjoy all these conservative men. I don't think you're going to enjoy the stuff that Sydney Sweeney's actually been in. But, whatever. She is MAGA. There is that. You didn't know. Sydney Sweeney's family, her whole family is MAGA. I mean, I can't, I'm not making it up. That's just, they show up in pictures with MAGA hats and shit. It's pretty well known, actually. But there's that. Big red lips represent big red lips. Yes, exactly. There you go. Big red lips represent that. That's all they represent. Was just thinking that denim model kind of looked like Miss Piggy. Yeah, she probably does. But yeah, I mean, she's a jerk. I'm sorry. She's a real dick. And that ad is 100% racist and eugenics and all of the things. And that's exactly what American Eagle wanted it to be so that they could, number one, be provocative and get more attention for their stupid, wannabe. What do they want to be? They want to be, what's that other one? American Eagle and Abercrombie and Fitch. They want to be Abercrombie and Fitch, but they can't be. So they had to go completely racist. And the problem is, I was talking to Bobo about that last night, because it came up in the space and we were talking about it, and it was actually really good because we had a really good conversation about Indigo. Oh, I wanted to play this one video. Yes, I need to play that. That actually I got from Dee, who was on our space last night. I love Dee. Dee runs advocacy spaces and pro-democracy spaces on Twitter and has for years. And that's how I met her. And she's just one of the most, she's actually has a history in radio and journalism out of Nashville. So I have always admired her prowess when it comes to like hosting and kind of radio, radio presence. So she was great. So she came up, because I think the argument last night was a couple of different things, and it's kind of it's kind of an intricate argument, and I probably won't paraphrase it well, but basically, Jim noticed around this campaign that there was a lot of weaponization of this as a way to again continue to kind of drive a wedge between people, and that the right-wing media machine has really focused on this ad, which, if you don't know, is Sydney Sweeney, who's an actress. She's very voluptuous and very blonde and blue-eyed and all this kind of Lolita kind of imagery, which has really been her kind of thing as she's been an actress. And so, Jim was like, I wish we wouldn't pay attention to things like that because they are such a distraction, etc. And, that is true. And also that ad is very, very significantly racist in terms of presenting the blonde, blue-eyed nymph as, the paragon of beauty, right? Well, it's not bait, though. I understand what Jim is saying about, don't let that kind of become the conversation. But at the same time, there is a very long history in advertising of using dog whistles and other things to advance white supremacy. And this, to me, has been one of the most overt in many years. But if you take a look at the world of advertising over the decades and how it did demonize communities of color through its advertising, that's a real thing. And so this is very much in that vein, and has had that desired response, right? So I think I think we should stand up against ads like that, because when I was talking to Bobo, and this was something that I hadn't really considered too much, but what she feels as somebody who's more in the Gen Z category is that her compatriots are being bombarded with ads like this, this being one of the most specific examples of it. And that's influencing attitudes of young people. And that's important, because that's something that we can't turn away from. Well, I don't think I agree really with you, Max. I don't think it's the same. It's not the same thing as, trying to have representation in ads. It's a very nefarious thing. How do you stand up against stupid things, but not by being... Yeah, well, I think there's a difference about being provoked, but I think you should call it out. Why in the world wouldn't you call it out? Like that, why? I don't understand why you wouldn't call it out and say da 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 da. Now, I don't think that, you need to, it doesn't need to paralyze us, but I don't think it is paralyzing us. I think it's just another part of the conversation. So I understand, not wanting to get too tied up in fighting just about the Sydney Sweeney ad, but I also would not want to dismiss the opportunity to call out really fucking obvious racist tones. So, yeah. Well, my not talking about an ad would boost said ad more than not. Oh, okay, I understand that, but don't you? I don't know. I guess I would feel like if that ad were, I don't know. I felt offended by that ad, and I don't know. I feel like it was bad. The pushback worked. Oh, interesting. The ad campaign was stopped. I didn't know that. Yeah, I understand not wanting to bring attention to it, but attention was already brought to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I first saw about it on TikTok, where influencers on TikTok were calling it out as a racist ad. again, I understand, but I also understand that I think kids are going to see it anyway, and we've had eons of advertising that has been racially biased in this case, and there has to come a point in time where we say no, that's not okay, and it's embarrassing and it's humiliating for that company to have an ad campaign like that. So anyway, I don't think it boosts it, because you're going to make a decision one way or another whether you want to support American Eagle and you don't. I mean, it actually helps me because I'm like, well, I'll never buy anything from American Eagle again. Not that I think I ever have, but right? I think it's going to damage their reputation in the long run. So anyway, I get it. But I really, there was something that Dee brought up in particular, and then she sent me a video about it. I think I pulled it up. Where is it? Oh, man. Hold on. Let me go to it. Where am I? Am I here? Yeah. All right. So we'll switch gears here a little bit because I do want to play this. Hold on. Where am I? Where are you? Where are you? What the fuck? I can't stand direct messages. What? What? Is it on X? What happened here? Why are my messages not? I'm so confused. Oh my fucking God. Where'd it go? This is so weird. Messages are like, oh wait, am I in the wrong? Oh fuck. I know what's happened. God damn it. I'm in my fucking democracy dino. Sorry. Wait, how do I do the thing where, oh my God, hold on. I'm so sorry. Sorry, everybody. I'm really dumb. Here we go. Jesus Christ. I thought I was going crazy. There we go. Here we go. Do. Don't play yet. Everyone's like, this has been the least smooth show she's ever done. No, that's not true. I've had more unsmooth shows. Would even consume if presented. In favor of Dee's deep reading. Yes, exactly. I still haven't heard of what the actress did get the too much denim vibe. Yeah, there was a lot of denim. Blonde hair is generally considered a recessive trait in weak genes. Thanks. And that there are vaguely Canadian associations with denim? Really? All right. Okay, this was from Dee, and she helped me. This is not very long, so, but one of the things that Dee brought up is the issue of indigo and jeans and what that can represent for Black community, coming from the time, evoking the time of slavery, where dungarees and other, that was really the clothing that was available to slave communities. So indigo and denim have a very specific meaning. And that's another reason that there's a layer. And that's the point about, the use of color, the use of references and other things. I know it's getting into the weeds, but it's part of how a racist state is continued to be sustained. When we take these things for granted that may feel not as significant, we need to realize that there is a significance to them. And if we end it, that is one step in a cycle of ending systemic racism. I mean, it is. So advertising matters, I guess. All right, here we go. This is Where Did Blue Jeans Begin? The History of Jeans. This is from PBS American Experience.
We're not quite sure exactly where the fabric originated, but there are several hints. One is Dungaree, India, where as early as the 17th century they were creating a coarse cloth for workers, eventually called dungaree. There's the Genoans of Italy, who had a type of sailcloth that was fashioned into work pants. And there's Nîmes, France, where the cloth there was known as serge de Nîmes. Not always, but very often, these various types of cloth were dyed blue, probably to hide dirt as much as anything.
So we have blue jean from Genoa. We have blue denim or denim coming from Nîmes. But when we make it into pants in America, we end up morphing the garment into blue jeans.
People don't necessarily think about how their blue jeans came to be blue. Historically, that's because of the indigo dye. Centuries ago, indigo was said to be worth its weight in gold. Competition for it was so fierce, Europeans actually called it the devil's dye.
Indigo is, in fact, a weed. The process of turning indigo from this small green leaf into a dye is a very delicate process. So only the most skilled are able to do this.
One of the neatest things about dyeing with indigo is the dye vat is green. It's not blue. And when you introduce a fabric like denim to the dye vat, it comes out green. And then as it oxidizes in our atmosphere, it turns blue. It is magic. Indigo dyeing is magic.
In many cultures, indigo cloth has a spiritual importance. In Africa, the cloth is considered the next layer to the skin. It holds the person's soul, their spirit. Africans have had a long history of working indigo and knew the special process involved in making the dye-in and dyeing cloth.
And of course, many African captives who became enslaved in the New World brought with them knowledge of how to extract the blue from the plant and how to fix the blue to fabrics. Indigo is one of the ways in which slaveholding became tied to the economic fortunes of the colonial experiment in the Americas.
I want to find more on that and see if we can find more information on that. So I think that there is a really there's an opportunity, and it's good to have the conversation. I also recognize we want to have these conversations across the board. And, you know, I still remain to this day really shocked at the fact that the removal of DEI language and programs could be done so easily. That really is so disturbing to me that we kind of continue to operate in this world where they're just trying to erase people and erase any of the small progress that has happened over these many decades. So I don't know. I think it's I also appreciate the conversation. And I don't recall if you I think that advertising is brainwashing in many regards. I don't think I wonder when did people disagree with you on that? Recall that my assertion that advertising is brainwashing being laughed out of. I don't know. I hope that's not true, because I think that's actually, I agree with that. I think that advertising is really, really fucking powerful and can be used for good, but is rarely done so. It's more just to influence behavior and in some ways reinforce attitudes and create a standard of beauty that isn't real. And that is really, I think there's a lot of problems with advertising. So I would agree that advertising is brainwashing. in many regards. So, anyway, for what it's worth. Where did the purple blue come from? Snails? Are you kidding me? Really? Lots of indigo history for Japan too. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'd like to learn more about it. I do recall hearing about Dungri in India, and having that be kind of the genesis of the word dungarees. So, but I didn't know much more about it in terms of the dyeing and the emphasis on that in Africa. So, there you go. But yeah, and also Sydney Sweeney is a terrible actress. Okay, Sydney Sweeney is a terrible actress. She's MAGA, and it was a dumb commercial, and they need to take it off the air. And representation matters. Oh, offline? I hope I did. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry that happened to you. Jenny Cohn had some good information about anti-CRT, became anti-DEI. Anti-CRT blew up as a distraction to the SBC sex scandal, 700 kids abused, but then it was seen as useful and repeated. Well, yeah, isn't it? Chris Rufo was really one of the founding fathers of CRT, anti-CRT weirdness. That's another thing that's absolutely stupid. And it's disinformation, people. It's disinformation. Oh, Southern Baptist Convention. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that makes sense. Didn't Levi's get started by using for prospectors? I guess so. They started in San Francisco, right? I think they did. All right, we're going to switch gears now. But thank you for that reminder, because I really did want to play the video and bring up the comments that Dee had made. So I appreciate that. Yes, and Sydney Sweeney went to Jeff Bezos' wedding. That's right. She's a piece of shit. And she was dumb in Euphoria, okay? I said it. Anyway, Trump deadline for Putin for Ukraine ceasefire expires on Friday. Kremlin sees threat of new sanctions as likely manageable, Russian sources say. Putin wants good ties with Trump, but war goals take precedence as Russia advances. There you go. Yes, San Francisco. Russian President Vladimir Putin is unlikely to bow to a sanctions ultimatum expiring this Friday from U.S. President Trump, and retains the goal of capturing the 4 regions of Ukraine in their entirety, sources close to the Kremlin told Reuters. How close? Trump has threatened to hit Russia with new sanctions and impose 100% tariffs on countries that buy its oil, of which the biggest are China and India. Hello. News on the roof at 11. That's right. Unless Putin agrees to a ceasefire in Russia's war in Ukraine. That's it? That's all you have to say? Okay. All right, fine. Let's see. Do I have any other Ukraine stuff? I don't think I do. I don't think I have any Ukraine stuff. No. Oh, well, there's this. How about this? In the Atlantic, Pete Hegg says Pentagon is becoming a bubble. An already insular Defense Department is sealing itself off from outside thinkers. This is from the Atlantic, and it's from yesterday. Last month, a group of 7 U.S. generals and admirals, including the top admiral in charge of U.S. military operations in the Asia-Pacific region, prepared to travel to the Aspen Security Forum in Colorado. Security officials had spoken at the annual conference for years, including during Dump's first term, and were set to discuss topics such as the wars in Gaza and Ukraine, the future of AI, and threats from China. But a day before the forum began, the officers' staff got calls from the Pentagon telling them to stay away. On social media, Sean Parnell, oh my God, the Defense Department's top spokesperson, believe it or not, if you saw him, you'd know what I mean, later made clear why. The forum, he said, was, quote, hosted by an organization that promotes the evils of globalism, disdain for America, and hatred for our great president, Donald Trump. Oh, my God. Can they sound any more like fucking, what are the fascists? Can they sound any more like that? I just don't even understand. They can't. They just can't. I know this whole India thing is going to blow up as well in terms of all the stuff that we import from India. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. In a statement to Politico, Parnell declared that the move was meant to ensure that the Department of Defense is not lending its name and credibility to organizations, forums, and events that run counter to the values of this administration. The Aspen Institute, which sponsors the Security Forum, describes itself as nonpartisan, and I would make an argument that the Aspen Institute is very, very right wing. That's what I would argue. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they're exactly the bastion of, pro-democracy. I think they're an elitist group of people talking. Okay, that's what I think. Whatever. Recreational what? Historically, RX. Wow. Yeah, no, this means real drugs. Real drugs coming from India. Parnell's characterization of the new policy was vague, but it represented an abrupt departure from long-established DoD practices and an important shift in the way that the military engages with the outside world. A Pentagon that has already grown more insular under Hegseth could end up cutting itself off from thinkers and ideas beyond the building, or at least those with which the administration disagrees. Military personnel and conference planners I spoke with described the decision as the latest battle in a broader war on ideas at the Pentagon under Hegseth. He can't handle ideas. That's what it is. He can't actually. Dems can be very elitist. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. That's right. That's right. They can be very insular and and kind of ridiculous. So I'm totally, I am an equal opportunity disdainer when it comes to elitism and kind of like, we are the smart ones. Earlier this year, the DoD eliminated the Office of Net Assessment, which had been created in the 70s as a hub for strategic analysts to produce internal assessments of U.S. readiness against potential foes. What? Hegseth, who himself keeps a small group of advisors, was behind both decisions. Oh, sure he was. Somebody told him to do it. Come on, let's be real. Troops and civilians attend hundreds of events annually on behalf of the Pentagon and have been doing so for decades, whether gatherings on heady topics such as economic warfare and gray zone tactics, or highly technical symposia about combating rust on ships and the future of drone warfare. These events keep the military plugged into ideas from scholars and industry. Particularly since the Iraq War, the military has said that it wants to seek out ways to challenge its assumptions, and solicit outside views, to make officers think through their plans and strategies on the second and third order effects of their decisions. Conferences are some of the main venues for this kind of exchange, though not the only ones. Officers from dozens of other nations sit alongside American counterparts at U.S. war colleges, for example. Previous administrations have required military personnel to secure the approval to attend conferences. The difference this time is the apparently partisan slant to the vetting process. By prohibiting DoD personnel from engaging with viewpoints that the administration disagrees with, defense officials and conference planners told me the Pentagon risks groupthink that could have real consequences. Let me guess. I don't think they care. I don't think they care. Pete Mansour, a retired Army colonel who served as executive officer to General David Petraeus during the 2007 surge in Iraq, told me he believes that Hegseth's emphasis on lethality over the kind of strategic thinking often fostered at conferences and think tanks could prove dangerous. The fact that officers stopped thinking strategically and only thought about lethality resulted in a war that was almost lost in Iraq. Mansour, now a senior faculty fellow at Ohio State University's Mershon Center for International Security Studies, said, I'm sure the Russian army also stresses lethality, he continued, but they have educated their generals on the basis of 1 million casualties in Ukraine. If the department continues to ban conference attendance in a substantial way, it will also make U.S. forces more like their Russian and Chinese counterparts, which in many cases can seek outside views only through state-sanctioned academics. When did our ideas become so fragile that they can't stand up to someone who has alternate views? One defense official asked me. The official requested anonymity because they were not authorized to speak. The Defense Department review of conference attendance is having an immediate impact. Only after the policy was announced did Pentagon officials realize how many conferences military personnel attend, leading to a scramble to draft formal guidance across the force. Defense officials told me. A DoD spokesperson was unable to tell me when such guidance will be released and responded to a request for comment by pointing me to Parnell's statement about the review. In the meantime, military personnel are preemptively canceling their attendance at conferences. Some inside the Pentagon have even canceled internal meetings, fearful of running afoul of the new ban on events and forums not approved beforehand. National security experts at think tanks, which often host security conferences, told me they are now unsure how much they can engage with American service members and the civilians working alongside them. Also unclear is whether the policy applies to industry-related conferences, some of which are sponsored by private companies that spend millions of dollars to host them. Well, that seems like it's okay if that's not happening. Adding to the confusion, it was not initially clear whether the policy applied to one of the services, the Coast Guard, which falls under the Department of Homeland Security, not the Department of Defense. A Coast Guard spokesperson told me that the service is working to align its policy with current DoD guidance. Ugh. Some military leaders dislike attending conferences and think tank events, of course. Appearing in public forums can mean facing political questions and potentially giving a career-ending answer. Moreover, some leaders argue think tanks are not always the best source of new ideas, particularly given that so many of their staff members once worked in government themselves. To tackle national security threats, generals and admirals should be focused on warfare, not speaking to those who have never been on the front lines, the argument goes. But the U.S. military has had a symbiotic relationship with think tanks for years. While government employees and military officers are mired in day-to-day operations and focused on tactical warfare, outside scholars have the time and space for engaging in strategic thinking and coming up with solutions to thorny problems. Some think tanks have created positions for serving officers, and the Pentagon has also created internal positions for think tankers, in part to facilitate an exchange of ideas. So often in government, you are choosing between awful options. You think you've found the least bad option, and places like think tanks allow you to test that conclusion. Mara Karlin, a former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Defense for Strategy, Plans, and Capabilities, told me. Several real policy changes have emerged from that arrangement. Scholars at the American Enterprise Institute, a right-leaning think tank, produced a proposal that served as a blueprint for the 2007 surge in Iraq at a time when the security situation in the country was deteriorating. A 2022 Center for Strategic and International Studies war game exercise found that in a hypothetical situation in which China invaded Taiwan, the United States would be in grave jeopardy in a matter of weeks. The Chinese could successfully sink an aircraft carrier, attack U.S. bases in the region, and bring down American fighter jets. The exercise spurred Pentagon officials to reassess the military planning for a potential conflict in the region. American officials have also made important statements and announcements at security-focused conferences. In the days before Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, then Vice President Kamala Harris appeared at the Munich Security Conference to outline U.S. fears of imminent war. Earlier this year, Vice President J.D. Vance also attended the Munich Security Conference, where he blasted American allies and cast doubt on the idea that the United States would remain Europe's security guarantor. This year, Hegseth himself appeared at the International Institute for Strategic Studies Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, where he outlined U.S. strategy to combat threats from China. Breaking with long-standing military norms of nonpartisanship, Hegseth also spoke to young conservatives at Turning Point USA's Student Action Summit last month. Later this year, the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum will host a major national security conference that usually draws cabinet secretaries, industry leaders, and America's top generals and admirals. Several past defense secretaries have delivered the keynote speech. A phrase often invoked at the conference is peace through strength, which Reagan introduced into the modern lexicon during the 1980 presidential election and which became a mantra of his administration's defense policy. It also has become one of Hegseth's favorite phrases for describing the military under Trump. And yet, by Hegseth's own directive, no one knows whether he or the troops he urges to embrace that approach will be able to attend the conference that celebrates it. What? Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Just want to check the headlines. Oh, that's not the headlines. That's not the headlines. Oh, Trump ruled. This is the headlines. Trump rules out Bessent for Fed chair. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, from consideration for an open seat. You know, there's the, which one just resigned? One of the governors resigned. I don't know which. Was she in the St. Louis Fed? I can't remember which Federal Reserve she was part of. I just don't remember. I don't remember. But she, so he's trying to replace that. I thought he was talking about, the Fed chair and like the Fed chair. But he's not. Mrs. Beasley, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Sorry about that, Mrs. Beasley. Oh, that was kind of a guaranteed spot too. Why do they have those for 10 years or something, like 14 years or something like that? Oh, Mrs. Beasley got cut out. Oh yeah, Pat Tillman's brother, he got in an accident, right? Is he okay? Is he okay? Let's see. There are some big pharmaceutical plants in Cuba. They transship this. Oh, I don't know what that means. Oh, and Dumpy wants to be in charge of the Olympics. I know. Which, you know what? Fine. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. Let's see. What else is Reuters telling us? Trust in U.S. economic data is on the line. Yes. Trump says banks discriminate against conservatives while White House prepares the order. We already read that. Sweden, Norway, Denmark give $500 million to NATO project to send U.S. weapons to Ukraine. That's good. Zelensky speaks with Trump ahead of... Wow. What'd they say? Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Tuesday that he had a productive conversation with his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump on ending the war sanctions on Russia and the finalization of a U.S.-Ukraine drone deal. Trump, who has signaled frustration with Vladimir Putin in recent weeks, has given the Russian president until August 8th to make peace in Ukraine. Damn it. Do it. Okay. Let's see. What else have I got here? I've got this, and that is the voting. Oh, yeah. This might be stuff I leave for Friday. La 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 la. We already read that about her. And maybe we'll leave that for Friday. That's all Jim stuff. Wait, hold on. Not sure I want to read that yet. Oh, this I wanted to read. Okay. AI. I don't even care. I don't care about the Olympics. I'm sorry. That I don't care about. Frankly, I live in Los Angeles. I don't want the Olympics to come to Los Angeles because frankly, I don't want to drive around them. Oh, bae. Okay, so here's some reporting from Gizmodo. This is from a little over a week ago, the July 23rd. FDA's new drug approval AI is generating fake studies. Here's a report. I like watching them on TV. I don't want to drive around them. I'm Bobby Brainworm Kennedy, and I like to eat my ice cream. Why is it not a problem? Why was it such a problem for Joe Biden to eat ice cream, but this motherfucker is like cute because he eats ice cream? Give me a break. That is such a double standard. He likes mint chocolate chip ice cream a lot. Robert F. Kennedy, Brainworm Bobby, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, has made a big push to get agencies like the FDA to use generative artificial intelligence tools. In fact, Kennedy recently told Fucker Carlson that AI will soon be used to approve new drugs very, very quickly. But a new report from CNN confirms all of our worst fears. ELSA, the FDA's AI tool, is spitting out fake studies. Oops. God, it's the stupidest government in the world. Bye, Tom. Elsa, yeah. Let it go. Just let the AI go. Let me go. I need to create a fake study. You can't have that drug you need. Is that an OG internet database would see good reporting? I don't know, Elsa. I don't know if that's an OG internet database. I don't know. The Olympic Games are a plaything for mini tyrants and dispossessed European nobility who have nothing better to do with their time. That said, I'm happy when Canada wins. Let it go, let it go. Let go of all you know. All right, CNN spoke with 6 current and former employees at the FDA who must absolutely love working for Bob's Big Boy, whatever that guy's name is, Malarkey. What's his name? Matt Malarkey was the guy who's the head of the FDA. He's a fucking idiot. I can't remember. I'll see you later, Tom. See you on the Discord. Hopefully see you at the movie. You know, we're having a documentary tonight. I don't know which one. I really should have figured that out before I came live today. But I have to look at our list of documentaries. I was gonna do an Epstein one. I don't know. Matt Malarkey. What's his name? I don't know. It's something like that. I don't know. It might as well be. Okay, but 3 of those FDA employees told CNN that Elsa just makes up non-existent studies. Something commonly referred to in AI as hallucinating. We have to do something about the hallucinating robots, okay? Can we write a song about the hallucinating robots? That seems like a good topic for a song. Hallucinating. Hallucinating. The AI will also misrepresent research. What? That's not AI then, okay? If AI is coming up with the wrong answers, that's not AI. That's wrong. That's dumb. This is so dumb. Anything that you don't have time to double check is unreliable. It hallucinates confidently, one unnamed FDA employee told CNN. And that's the big problem with all AI chatbots. They need to be double checked for accuracy, often creating even more work for the human behind the computer if they care about the quality of their output at all. People who insist that AI actually saves them time are often fooling themselves, with one recent study of programmers showing that tasks took 20% longer with AI, even among people who were convinced they were more efficient. Well, that's interesting. Most of the time. I know. The language. Kennedy's Make America Healthy Again Commission issued a report back in May that was later found to be filled with citations for fake studies. An analysis from the nonprofit news outlet Notice found that at least 7 studies cited didn't even exist. Domo arigato, misinformation, robot. Robot. I have to make that fit. And with many more misrepresenting what was actually said in a given study. We still don't know if the commission used ELSA to generate that report. FDA Commissioner Marty Makary. Okay, it's kind of like Matt Malarkey. In that rock opera, a human pretends to be a robot to escape from jail. Really? Misinfo, roboto, domo. FDA Commissioner Marty. Hey, Marty. Initially deployed ELSA across the agency on June 2nd, and an internal slide leaked to Gizmodo bragged that the system was cost-effective, only costing $12,000 in its first 4 weeks. And look at all the work it does for us. Malarkey said that ELSA was ahead of schedule and under budget when he first announced the AI rollout. But it seems like you get what you pay for. If you don't care about the accuracy of your work, ELSA sounds like a great tool for allowing you to get slop out the door faster. God, tell us what you really feel, Gizmodo. Jesus. God, it sounds bitter. ELSA sounds like a great tool for allowing you to get slop out the door faster, generating garbage studies that could potentially have real consequences for public health in the U.S. Yeah, no shit. Whoa. CNN notes that if an FDA employee asks ELSA to generate a 1-paragraph summary of a 20-page paper on a new drug, there's no simple way to know if that summary is accurate. And even if the summary is more or less accurate, what if there's something within that 20-page report that would be a big red flag for any human with expertise? The only way to know for sure if something was missed or if the summary is accurate is to actually read the report. Oh boy. Oh, this is going to be such a fucked up world. I can't even tell you how fucked up this world's going to be in about a year. The FDA employees who spoke with CNN said they tested Elsa by asking basic questions like how many drugs of a certain class have been approved for children. Elsa confidently gave wrong answers, and while it apparently apologized when it was corrected, a robot being sorry doesn't really fix anything. No, but now everyone's just going to take it at face value, and then we're going to... We still don't know the workflow being deployed when Kennedy says AI will allow the FDA to approve new drugs, but he testified in June to a House subcommittee that it's already being used to increase the speed of drug approvals. The secretary, whose extremist anti-vaccine beliefs didn't keep him from becoming a public health leader, seems intent on injecting unproven technologies into mainstream science. Well, I mean, facts and evidence. Kennedy also testified to Congress that he wants every American to be strapped with a wearable health device within the next 4 years. As it happens, Dump's picks for Surgeon General Casey Means owns a wearables company. Oh, how convenient. It is peppery, isn't it? I love it. It's spicy. It's a spicy article. I love it. It's sassy. It's sassy. Sassafras. Casey Means owns a wearables company called Levels that monitors glucose levels in people who aren't diabetic. How does that? Why? Anyway, there's absolutely no reason that people without diabetes need to constantly monitor their glucose levels, according to experts. Yeah, that's true. Means, a close ally of Kennedy, has not yet been confirmed by the Senate. Malarkey acknowledged to CNN that Elsa could potentially hallucinate. But who doesn't every once in a while? But that's no different from other large language models and generative AI. Oh, that's a good reason to use it. What? And he's not wrong on that. The problem is that AI is not fit for purpose when it's consistently just making things up. Yeah. But that won't stop folks from continuing to believe that AI is somehow magic. Wow, this is an anti-AI person, and he works for Gizmodo. William Maloney from the FDA's Rapid Response Office sent a statement about the agency's use of AI on Wednesday. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the guy. Here's the guy from the office. Here we go.
Well, that makes sense. A yoga retreat should ban onions and garlic. Come on now. Okay, anyway. The information provided by FDA to CNN was mischaracterized and taken out of context. You guys just don't understand what we're talking about. Maloney wrote. When Gizmodo responded via email to ask what in CNN's report may have been mischaracterized or taken out of context, Maloney didn't address our questions. Gizmodo also asked if anything about the report was inaccurate, but that question also ignored. FDA was excited to share the success story of the growth and evolution of its AI tool, Elsa. Even though she was wrong all the time, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Unfortunately, CNN, the boo-boo heads over at CNN, decided to lead the story with disgruntled former employees and sources who have never even used the current version of Elsa. Hello? But it was Maloney's last line of the email that really reminded us that the FDA has been fully captured by Dump. The only thing hallucinating in this story is CNN's failed reporting. So there.
Don't know how we got here, Miss Simfo Roboto. I need one less syllable in that line. Don't know how we got here. Dumbass Roboto. AI Roboto Domo. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I actually Miss Info Robot. Don't know how we got here. Miss Info Robot. AI. Dun, dun. Oh, I have to think about that. Wait, Jim said start. I think Dump is gonna try and pull a Vincent and start acting crazy. I think that ship has probably sailed. I could be wrong, but I think that's Miss Infobato. That's a good one, Carla. Don't know how we got here, Miss Infobato. I have to think about it. I have to play with it. And actually, I got the full song that you sent me yesterday, Carla. I think that's a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I love that song that you sent me. Carla is a great lyricist. Let me tell you right now. She is a brilliant lyricist and comedian. Um, don't know how we got here, Mr. Robotnik. Yeah, Carla's very, very funny. She's a very funny person. Let's see, whatever. I don't want to talk about Epstein anymore. I feel like we talked about him enough. But I want to make sure I didn't. Oh, I kind of want to. You know what? I'm gonna read this. I gotta read this. This is from yesterday too. For the economy. It's the economy, stupid. It's the stupid economy. No, I'm not too kind. You are very good. All right, here we go. Politico. The CBO, Congressional Budget Office. Republican mega bill is going to cost $4.1 trillion due to higher borrowing costs. The measure is also expected to add trillions to the federal deficit. It's the stupid economy. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Interest rates will be higher over the next decade because of the GOP's mega bill and drive up borrowing costs, even for the federal government. Congress's nonpartisan scorekeeper predicts in a new report released yesterday. In an analysis of the massive domestic policy package dump signed into law on July 4th, the Congressional Budget Office estimated the measure will increase the federal deficit by $4.1 trillion over a decade because the bill's red ink is not offset by more spending cuts or new revenue. CBO found the legislation will drive up interest rates. Oops, we did it again. That increase could affect investors and regular people getting loans for a range of assets from cars to homes, but it will also hike costs for the federal government in a real way, according to the Budget Office, increasing interest payments on the nearly $37 trillion national debt by $718 billion over a decade. That's higher than the $440 billion in extra borrowing costs CBO estimated in June before Republicans reworked many of the bill's policies to abide by Senate rules and woo the support of GOP lawmakers who were reluctant to vote in favor of the final product. Congressional Republicans largely dismissed CBO's deficit and interest rate warnings in the days before clearing the bill for Trump's signature, arguing that the legislation would juice the economy far more than forecasters have ultimately predicted. That's right, trickle down, trickle around. Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley, the top Democrat on the Senate Budget Committee who requested the new CBO analysis, said in a statement Monday that the Republicans can't spin the fact that this bill is bad policy and that it's the height of hypocrisy coming from the party that claims to be fiscally responsible. You guys look fake. Those filters, what is the filters on these things? I mean, I'm fine with the people. The filters are killing me. CBO also estimated Monday how much it would cost to permanently extend a slew of tax cuts that the bill would only offer for a limited time, including the bill's elimination of taxes on tips, overtime, and car loans. The Joint Committee on Taxation has predicted that if Congress eventually makes these temporary tax policies permanent, it would add $800 billion to the deficit over a decade. At this point, CBO predicts, the bill would increase the cost of servicing the national debt by $789 billion over 10 years, hiking the legislation's price tag to $5 trillion. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, $5 trillion. Woo. Woo. I might read this one another day, also. Okay, I think I pretty much covered. Wait, let me just. La 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 la. La 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 la. I know I had some clips. Hold on. Don't leave me yet. Don't. Please, mister, please. If you know what I mean. I don't ever want to hear that song again. Please, mister, please. Don't play B-17. Let's see. Oh, I want to watch this. Hold on.
Statisticians.
Stop.
I believe the numbers.
Stop. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Y'all shut up. This is from Deutsche Welle, one of my favorite sources. I hope they're not like problematic. I don't think they are. I think they're pretty standard stuff. Yeah. Here we go. Let's see what they have to say. This is about 10 minutes, but it's about what is the real economic outlook in the U.S.? Will AI be good at physical comedy? I don't know. Are jingle writers going to be in demand for the future AI world? Is AI going to be funny? Will it have a good sense of timing? I don't know. I don't think so. I think actually here's my hot take on AI. First of all, I think AI is here, so we got to deal with it. All right? And we got to figure out how do you use it for the best advantage for humanity? And that's always I think that should be the push. So AI is here. We need to get over it and just figure out how do you make it work for humanity versus destroy humanity. And it's not going to be easy because all the people who own AI want to destroy humanity. So that's a problem, and we've got a big problem in that regard. But I also think one of the unintended consequences of the AI revolution is that human-created things, whether they be art or whatever, will be far more valuable in our eyes, even as imperfect as they may or may not be, depending on your perspective. I think that human-created product will become far more valuable to us. That's just my hot take on AI. So there you go. AI is gonna, I mean, it depends on who programs it, right? Where is the language model coming from? Why is Elsa so wrong all the time? That should be a question we ask. Why is it so wrong? Why is Grok so fucking racist and a white supremacist? And what does that mean for Grok for government, where you could see your local government system adopting a Grok for government product, which then runs part of your local township? Like, those are the questions we should be asking ourselves, is how do we help AI not destroy us, right? But we still have a lot of bad people to really fight with about it, unfortunately. So anyway, this is, I was interested to see what, is it even accurate to afford any type of those branded interfaces individuality? Yeah, I think it is only from whatever distinct characteristics they're presenting. Does that make sense? Well, and when I refer to Grok and things like that, it's more that there's an institution behind them, so I'm not implying that they have a personality, but I think that they carry the personality of their feeders, whoever's creating so I think more about that, if that makes sense. It doesn't. Okay, here we go. What is the real economic outlook in the U.S.? Let's ask the Germans.
A phony, so you know what I did? I fired her.
What does a bad leader do when they get bad news? Shoot the messenger.
The big downward revision is something of a puzzle. I don't think it was explained very well.
Well, Donald Trump, firing her isn't going to relieve the chaos that you've created with your ramshackle tariff regime.
We'll be announcing a new statistician sometime over the next 3-4 days. We had no confidence. I mean, the numbers were ridiculous, what she announced.
In the United States, the Bureau of Labor Statistics compiles and publishes data on the health of the U.S. economy. Now, this includes monthly reports on new hires by companies, and that was exactly what happened last Friday. The new jobs report for July was published, and the numbers were not in sync with how President Trump thinks the economy is doing.
We're seeing phenomenal numbers in terms of the business we do with other countries and the business we do within our own country. I mean, really phenomenal. And if you remember, just before the election, this woman came out with these phenomenal numbers on Biden's economy. Phenomenal numbers. And then right after the election, they announced that those numbers were wrong. And that's what they did the other day. So it's a scam, in my opinion.
Today, we got some of the worst labor numbers that we've gotten in a long time. But what does Donald Trump do? Instead of trying to fix the economy, he shoots the messenger. Shooting the messenger isn't going to make the jobs that we're losing in healthcare and clean energy because of your so-called big, beautiful bill come back. Donald Trump sometimes admires dictators. He admires them. Well, he sometimes acts just like them. It's classic Donald Trump. He ought to start governing like a leader, not like someone who imitates authoritarian leaders.
And for more, I'm joined now by Andrew Ackerman. He's a journalist with the Washington Post. He has been covering this story concerning the job numbers in the United States. Andrew, it's good to have you with us. Is this story, is it a case of shooting the messenger?
I think that's certainly the conclusion of the BLS commissioners, the previous BLS commissioners, both Democrats and Republicans. It's a little hard to, I mean, there's a bit of a disconnect between the president's rhetoric that the numbers were designed to hurt him specifically and were rigged in a way against him, and sort of the reality of how the numbers come together. That just doesn't comport. There's not really, the commissioner doesn't have any involvement, and you can see real concern from all of the predecessors, recent predecessors who are at the BLS, that this is going to undermine the integrity of their process.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about the credibility of these numbers in just a moment, but Trump said that these jobs numbers, jobs data, were rigged to make him look bad. How likely is that? I mean, considering how the data are gathered and analyzed, could someone have an agenda when the numbers are published?
I mean, based on what I know about the numbers, it's really not a process that the BLS commissioner, the person running the agency, has real vision into until the very last moment, where they can't really adjust the data itself. They have a role in sort of editing the actual text of the report. I think the afternoon, or at least certainly the within the last couple days before they're released publicly, there's a role for the BLS commissioner to be able to edit the text.
I'm going to stop him there. I'm sure that he may or may not be right about that. But I'm going to guarantee you, the BLS commissioner is not sitting at the beach waiting for her people to, create the report, and she just looks at the draft. There are probably conversations that happen all the way along. I would be more interested in how are the forecasts made, and what might have impacted the forecasts that so wildly deviated from the real numbers, because to me, that's more of a data issue than it is anything else. Yeah, exactly. So whatever, Washington Post, what are you going to do?
But not the data under the system right now. It's a very technical and involved system that they have, but it is nonpartisan.
They used Elsa.
There's no indication that if you're running this bureau, you can kind of skew the data or just not release the data because you don't like it, or delay the data.
President Trump says that this was not the first time that this has happened. He also claims the economic numbers were rigged to make former President Biden, look better ahead of the last election. Is there any truth to that?
So I think the president is kind of conflating a few things that do happen. I mean, these are called revisions, where there's monthly revisions where the numbers come out and then they'll be revised the following month. And then once a year, there's a separate benchmarking, or what's called a benchmark revision, where basically the BLS double checks their data against state unemployment records. That happens, like I said, annually. There's a preliminary figure that comes out in August, and that happened last August. A year ago, they revised down the jobs figures by about 800,000.
In August. Dumpy McDumperson, and I know you chuds, I'm going to speak slowly so you can follow along. Dumpy will tell you that the numbers were revised after the election. That is not true. The revision came in during the August reset. So the revision down in jobs numbers, which was a negative for Biden, I'll just put it in real simple terms, that came out before the election. So Dumpy McDumperson didn't suffer because of job revision numbers. Biden didn't get elected because of job revision numbers, because Dumpy McDumperson actually was named the winner of that election. Okay, there we go. Just to be clear.
818, and this came out, right after Biden got out of the race. So I guess the argument from the president is that was designed to hurt Kamala Harris by the Biden people, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. There's certainly no evidence for that. I mean, the people who were at the in the White House at the time would certainly deny that. They wouldn't have had any say in, like, there's no evidence of a conspiracy, and that's just not how the BLS works.
Well, assuming that these latest job numbers are correct, I mean, what do they tell us about the health and the state of the U.S. economy under President Trump?
So they indicate that the labor market is cooling down significantly. The president has been out there talking about how the economy is doing fantastically, inflation's non-existent, and the labor market's on fire. And what we learned over basically 72 hours last week after the Fed met to hold interest rates again for the fifth consecutive meeting, because they're saying there's all this uncertainty. When what we learned is that actually the labor market cooled a lot more than initially thought in May and June, and that the July numbers weren't fantastic either. And at the same time, we also got new inflation readings that showed that inflation was running kind of hot as well for the past year, for the July to July period.
So let me ask you then about the credibility of these numbers. I mean, what implications does this firing have for the believability, the credibility of U.S. economic statistics moving forward? Because these numbers, they are really important, aren't they?
Yeah, the numbers are very important. I mean, I think, there was a JP Morgan note that came out yesterday from their economists that basically, there's this metaphor about a soft landing, and how, the Fed's goal over the last year was to kind of bring down inflation steadily, but without triggering a recession. And so to kind of use that soft landing metaphor, the instruments in the cockpit are just as important as the pilot in the seat, and making sure the pilot's not acting, basically not a political actor. And so their argument was, like, the numbers, the statistics, the process that creates the statistics, and ensuring that those are reliable and people have confidence in them, that's just as important as the pilot itself.
Jamie Dimon is who he's talking about, who is a craven motherfucking capitalist pig. He runs JP Morgan Chase, and he's an asshole. And Jamie Dimon it is in his best interest to suck the dick of this president and his administration. So that's why Jamie Dimon is going to toe the company line like the putz that he is, and say, oh, well, what am I going to say about the revision and the jobs report? I'm going to say that it's really important to have good data. Jamie, you are such a fucking little bitch. You are a fucking scared little bitch who is trying to protect all his toys. And eat the rich. That's all I have to say. Eat the rich. Imagine if maggots and the rest of the people in this country really stood up about top of heap for bank guys. Yeah, he totally is. Yeah, he 100% is the top of the heap. I think he's blinking something in Morse code. He is blinking a lot, isn't he? I don't know. Not offered as contradiction about the top of the heap for bank guys and CEO types. Yeah, I just think that Jamie Dimon is like, he is the voice of the banking industry. He really is. Yeah, Gilded Age is a very timely show. We should watch that in Discord. That would be interesting. I keep passing by it and I never watch it. But yeah, so fuck Jamie Dimon. Fuck him. All the way.
And what could all of this mean for the U.S. economy if the agencies that collect economic data, if they are politicized and called into question?
Okay. We're missing them. We're missing the plot
it has
here.
all kinds of implications for the transparencies of these agencies. There's a lot of people who are concerned that the next BLS commissioner will inject themselves more into how they come up with the data, the process.
That I'd be worried about.
That where they take sample projections, or they take bits of data that they get, and then they'll project a sort of national figures with those samples. And you could have a BLS commissioner who decides, to inject themselves into that process more than they are right now. And it also comes at a time when there's broader concerns about the integrity. There's already concerns about the BLS integrity because they've effectively been short. Their funding has held mostly steady for about 10 or 15 years, is my understanding. So, that's effectively, with inflation and everything, kind of a pay cut. They are clearly stretched thin for the inflation, the consumer prices.
When do we want
the consumer price index that they release every month?
Yeah.
The BLS has announced that they don't have enough people to go into all of these cities and to look at the prices and compare prices for specific figures. So they're using more estimates in their data.
AI.
So that's already kind of a concern, that you basically end up with a much more politicized system that's where there's just less confidence. It's too early to say that that's where we're at, but there's clearly a lot of concern. I mean, you had Janet Yellen, who's not really a political firebrand, saying this is the type of stuff you see in a banana republic. She was quoted in the New York Times over the weekend saying that. So there's really a lot of concern right now.
Like it or not, I have a feeling the next jobs report is going to be watched by a lot of people who normally would not.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. Do you think protests have slowed because everyone is waiting for another data drop and the Epstein file captured public attention? I think that's interesting. I've been really watching what's happened. There's been a very dedicated group of protesters at the detention center here in Los Angeles. But the fire of protests in terms of popping up in different places has definitely cooled since No King's Day. That's the problem. I don't know when it starts to resurge. I think there's a big protest planned for early September, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm surprised that there's not more going on, and I'm part of the problem. I'm not going out. I haven't been in the last few weeks, so I need to get back out there. But I think that I have noticed that it's cooled a little bit in terms of what was happening here in Los Angeles. And I don't know if that's as a result. I'm sure there's a number of factors. And also including the fact that thankfully there is less of a National Guard presence. The Marines are not here anymore. National Guard is coming down, pretty fast in terms of their numbers. But of course, the problem all along for me wasn't necessarily the National Guard or the Marines. I mean, certainly you don't want militarization in your community. But they were not the people who were actually harassing protesters, at least in my experience on the times that I was there. The people that were harassing protesters the most, shooting at them, etc., are the DHS police or whatever they call themselves. It's a Tractor Supply. That's right. It's not a banana republic. It's a Tractor Supply. That's right. Oh my God. It's a Walmart. Okay? We're in a Walmart. We're not in a banana republic. We're in a Walmart. There was one Saturday, but nothing within 3 hours of me. I know there was not a lot. There hasn't been a lot of, and I've been looking. So I think we need to get back into that. Maybe with the cooler weather, we'll get back. I don't know. And I'm sure there's going to be another reason. I mean, there's plenty of reasons for us to be out there. I was still thinking of going to Anduril. Ooh, Rage Against the Regime. That's a good one. I was thinking of going over to Anduril in Santa Monica or something. I got to figure out where they are. I hope they're in a high traffic area. I don't think they are for some reason. That's another problem, is that it's hard to kind of get at some of these guys because they're like in areas where there's really no one driving by even. So I got to figure it out. But I think we got to heat it up again. We have to get out there. If nothing else, for all of the people who are continued to be hurt by this administration. And No Kings was such a large turnout. A lot more centrist liberals thought, well, we've done our part, and then put their heads back in the sand. That might be, Meowing Star. I don't think that's wrong at all. I was actually, when I was walking around at No Kings, I'm like, this is great. I'm so glad you all are here. Oh my God, this is like magic. Because a lot of times, as we all know, it's like me or someone else. There's like only small groups doing these protests. So I know, I was like overwhelmed with all the people there. Someone in Congress thought Banana Republic meant the store. Oh, really? Nancy Mace thought that? No. Didn't she? She knows better than that, right? That is a great name. Rage Against the Regime. I like that. Maybe after back to school price gouging is over. Yeah, maybe after that. That's true. People are getting their kids in school and stuff like that right now. I think that also is very distracting. I remember those days very much, and they were very distracting. But we cannot become complacent. Nancy Macy's. She is like a Macy's, kind of. Oh my God. She is a little bit like a Macy's sometimes. Isn't that interesting? All right, my friends. Well, it's been 3.5 hours. I think I've taken enough of your time this morning. Sorry for all the not as smooth transitions and everything. I really do apologize for that. That is not my intention, that you come here and get whipsawed by my inability to operate technology. But here we are. Here we are. Yeah, jobs report, prices going up, country going cuckoo. What else? I do have a lot for this week. I know we don't have a lot of congressional things, but I still have a long list of tabs of stuff to read. And I'm sure there will be new news for us to scoff at. We like it chunky, smooth. That's right, baby. Nancy Mace is running for governor. I think she should run for governor of South Carolina because I don't think she'll win. Because she's a ridiculous caricature of herself. And I don't even think that South Carolinians will accept that. I think they deserve better and they will ask for better. That's what I choose to believe. I could be wrong. But I believe I can fly. All right, my friends. I will see you tonight for the documentary. I'm so sorry I don't know, but it's going to be juicy. Whatever it is, it's going to be a juicy documentary. So you do not want to miss it. And you'll just have to wait and see what I drop on my socials to see which juicy documentary it's going to be. All right. I'm going to go smoke a bunch of weed and try and go outside. I hope that you are able. I will definitely. Yeah, it's the doc info on Discord. I'm going to go look at the list of documentaries, but I think we're going to. Yeah, it's going to be a documentary on orange juice. It's going to be juicy. Juicy orange juice. Love you, Star. All right. I will see you tonight. And then I will also see you tomorrow morning for the rest of Wake and Bake. Hello. Yeah. So I will, it's, yeah, I'll see you. Yeah. All right. Oh, and that's the thing we talked about last night. I think there should be rogue data compilers. I think we need a shadow data gatherers. All right. Have a great day. I love you guys so much. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. I hope the rest of your day goes smoothly, and that don't let the bastards get you down. We will win. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of humanity, and all those other people need to do is come on over to our side. and just love each other. And that's your entrance. That's your admission ticket, is just love each other and keep your nose out of my business. Okay, I love you.